All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new stock market prep. This week, we've got a lot going on. I'm going to make sure to do my best to help prepare you as always, just making sure that the stream, and when you hear me in double, that means we are live. So I want to welcome you all and thank you again. This is the second episode of this show. I appreciate everyone coming by. I appreciate everyone always supporting. I appreciate everyone always coming through. As always, you guys got to remember, this is not financial advice, but you guys already know that. You're smart. You guys know this stuff. And I'm really happy to spend another Sunday evening with you all to discuss this stuff. So as always, the format of the show is very simple. It's a very interactive show. It's meant to be a conversation, not just a show. I give you my overview of the outlook of the market. So we look at some market events, and we've got a heavy-hitting market event week this week, plus a surprise. Second, I do some S&P analysis via SPY. And then third, we do some charts for whatever you folks want. We chart them, we do them. So if you guys want, you can start rampaging the chat, throw them into the chat. And all I ask in return is if you could just hit that like button. That's all we ask for. That's all we need is just a little tickle that like button. But this is meant to be a show where I do my best to help you as best as possible to prepare you for the upcoming week. So what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up the market events and about to start screen sharing for this week. So let's do this. So Negan, what's up, buddy? I appreciate you coming through. This is going to be a fun one. I'm not sick anymore. I do apologize again for last week when I was sick. My voice was shot, and the chat just loaded for me all in one shot. I see Russ is here. That's a tiring bear. What's up, buddy? Chilio's here. Unity is a fun one. I got that on the watch list. Milky, welcome back. Tony's here. What's up, Tony? Richard, Basan. Tiring the Bears active. Yes, you are. I see you, Russ. What's up, buddy? Beach Bums here. What's up, buddy? Welcome back. Welcome back. I do apologize. I don't know why the screen has me like embedded into another background screen. I don't know what the point of that is, or why it's doing that. Again, StreamYard, let me see if I hide it. It just turns it black. So I don't know why it's doing that. So I do apologize for that reasoning, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go into screen sharing mode, and don't worry, I'm zooming in. Don't yell at me yet. We've got a lot of stuff. So the first thing I want to go over really quickly is what's up, Fletcher? What's up, Tassos? What's up, Michael? Yes, thank you for everyone for piling into the chat chart requests. I will do them in the order that they come in, first come, first served, obviously, but I will double check that you're still here before doing your stock, so please stand by. Last time this stream went for 2 hours and I was sick. I'm not sick this week, thank God. We could probably go longer. If you guys stick around, we'll make sure to do everything. So let's jump into it. Triana says, looking for pre-market trades. We'll discuss them. Whatever you have in mind, we'll throw it in. We'll discuss. Like Tony said, hit that like, hit that like, hit that like. That's all we ask in return here is if you want to hit that like. By the way, if you don't know me, I forgot I should make a formal introduction. This is the second show. I am back to Benzinga. I was with Benzinga a while back, but I'm back now. My name is Ryan Rozbiani. I'm a retail trader. You can follow me on Twitter. It's linked down below. I post a lot of stuff. I deal with a lot of macroeconomics. I work with the trading team, and my thesis is education and kind of focusing on technical analysis. And I personally myself a day trader right now, and I love trading, so I want to be able to give back in a way with these streams to help you all prepare for the upcoming weeks. So let's do it. Let's get started without further ado. These are more important than I am. So again, I'm not sure why the format of the screen looks like this, but we'll figure it out along the way. So all right, let's get started. So Monday, there isn't much happening. You have some ISM manufacturing data for PMI. That could affect the markets, but I don't think it'll be something big beyond a 1 to 2 candle event. One thing that I'm noticing is most of these 10 a.m. events usually result in a reaction that are 1 to 2 candles unless they're extremely out of the left field. Tuesday is when things get wild and that 10 a.m. rule flips. Jolt's job opening data. No, we don't want you to open up. This is going to be big, right? The last time we got one of these, it was cooled off. This is one of those things that Jerome Powell is watching for the markets. He's saying, hey, I need labor markets to cool down. He wants to create demand destruction. So you want this number to be in line or lower, especially lower than last time. That one time where we came in at like 11 million, everything got ugly. It was really weird. We do have FOMC member Rosenberg speaking. FOMC member Rosenberg. I'm going to quickly put on the screen a quick little infographic that I find very beneficial when dealing with our friends in the Fed. I'm going to zoom in again here. Again, I apologize if it's a little bit weird, but if you look, we look for FOMC Rosenberg to kind of get an idea of what he's saying, if it's going to make an impact, if it's going to make an effect. Up top, you've got the voting members are up top, and the non-voting members on the bottom. So let's see, where's Rosenberg? Rosenberg's not here. So I guess Rosenberg isn't a voting member, and he's not important enough to be on this calendar unless I'm not seeing him. But it shouldn't be something to worry about. But again, you want to keep your eyes and ears onto the markets for what they're saying. Conan, welcome from New Jersey, buddy. I'm in New York. I'm your neighbor. I was actually in Jersey yesterday. Really a lot quieter in Jersey these days than in New York. Powell hasn't resigned yet. Evil, believe it or not, not yet. Not yet. He hasn't resigned yet. So that's on Tuesday. Jolt is going to be the big one. That's going to be moving markets. That'll be a big market moving thing. If it's positive, you'll see the markets react positively. Obviously, if it's in line or lower, that's what we want. But if it's higher, that's not good, especially if you come in higher than last time. That's not good either. The only reason being that in a regular economics world where everything was going on and inflation wasn't going on, rate hikes weren't going on, and Jerome Powell didn't want a soft labor market, we'd be saying the inverse. But right now, we have to follow what Uncle J. Powell wants. So let me just zoom in a little bit so you guys can see me a little bit better in case you wanted to. Next up on Wednesday, we have some non-farm employment change numbers. So again, this is some jobs data. I was mentioning earlier in the stream, we get some really important jobs data, and we get some import-export data, some trade balance data, some global PMI data, services PMI. These are all important. These are the 2 stars, 3 stars. These are big deals. This is jobs data. You want to watch this? Again, jobs data, you want it to be uglier. Why? Because Jerome Powell wants demand destruction. So unfortunately, that's what we're going to have to look out for. There, services PMI, same thing. You want this number to come. It's set to come in flat. So you want to keep your eye on that. Watch that services PMI. Thursday, it's kind of like this is the one that's been really annoying. It's a weekly event, but we still want to watch its initial jobless claims. It's set to come in a little higher than last time. You want the jobless claims numbers to be higher. Again, same thing we discussed earlier. We get some Fed balance sheet. This is usually pushed back a lot, so I wouldn't bet on this coming out, but you want to keep your eye on this one as well. Professor's here. What's up, Professor? Long time no chat. Hope you're doing well. Listen to the Professor. Hit that like button. Last but certainly not least, on Friday, this is a surprise that I told you. Markets are actually closed on Friday. It's a holiday, so we get a 3-day weekend for traders, but we're still going to be getting some very, very, very important data. If you've heard of something called wage price spiral, this is what to watch out for. This is the average hourly earnings of month over month and year over year. You never want this to go up too high too fast, because what happens is as earnings go up, manufacturers see this and raise prices, producers raise prices, retail raise prices, and it creates what's called a wage price spiral. And you don't want a wage price spiral because that initiates further inflation. So you want this number to come in cooler than last time. Year over year is more of the big mover here. Month over month, not so much. But again, you want to see this come in flat or in line. Non-farm payroll, same exact thing as we discussed up top. You want this number to come in cooler than last time, and even cooler than the estimates would be better. Participation rate, this is a funny one. I think Jerome Powell and the crew still want a higher participation rate for people working, because there's still a ton of job openings, even with everything going on, but we'll have to see that one as well. No estimate there. Private non-farm payroll, and then the most important one. This is the most important one. They're saving it last, but certainly not least. It's honestly the most important one is this unemployment rate data right here, right? Unemployment rate is what we're watching. It's set to come in flat. You want this number to come in, unfortunately, again, higher or flat. If it comes in lower, markets might not like that, because that signals to Jerome Powell, hey, the economy has more room for tightening. So that's our market events. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat in regards to this. I appreciate you guys for being here. Again, thank you so much. Hit that like button. Professor, thank you so much for your compliment on the tweets. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you can. The link is down below in the description. I'm not like most people on Twitter. I will answer your tweets. I will answer any questions you have. You can hit me up. I keep it very open and easy there, because again, the whole reason I'm doing the whole Twitter thing is not because I'm doing it for fun. It's just a lot of work. I do it because I want to give back and kind of help the retail trading community. So it means a lot when you guys follow there and you interact. So next up, we want to do some SPY analysis. We want to see what's going on in the old S&P 500. What is the deal? What is the deal with everything going on here? Why are we doing this? So let me just change the view a little bit. I do apologize if it's not a clean-cut view of this, but I'm trying my best to get the best picture here. DTP, Melanie, I'm not sure what DTP stands for. If you could tell me, we could definitely do it. If it's a stock you'd like chart it, we will definitely eventually get to it, promise. So looking at SPY, we had a wild Friday. That's the easiest way to put it. Friday was a wild one, right? We got the GDP data. That was good. We got PCE data, which came in lower, which was even better. Everyone liked that. Everyone was really happy that PCE came in lower, even though in my opinion, it wasn't that much lower. It was a hair lower, but it was lower. So the markets like that, and we zoomed up. Why? Because Jerome Powell wants PCE and inflation to come in lower, and that's a sign that maybe Jerome Powell doesn't have to cut. So the whole discussion of not having to cut rates reemerged once again into the ethos of the stock market, because if you remember, last time we went from we're going to pause to we're going to get 50 basis points. Then the banking crisis happened and we came back to 25 or no cut, and then we got 25. In my personal opinion, based on everything that I'm seeing now, I think Jay Powell does another 25 basis points, but we have a ton of data between now and May, so we're going to hold that opinion up in the clouds for now. So let's look at the S&P. We can see here that we have really strong support. Again, the S&P, when I'm saying the S&P, I'm referring to SPY. We're looking at SPY. If you ever get lost as to what we're discussing, you can kind of take a look up here. You can also look in the background here. It tells you the ticker symbol that we're discussing. It's really, really, really pertinent. DTP, Day Trade Professor. Yes, I love DTP. He's the man. He's the man. He needs to get back to Instagram. If you are hearing me, get back to Instagram, man. Get that Instagram popping again. But back to SPY. So if you ever get lost, you can see the ticker here. We've got really, really strong support for the past two trading sessions, the 29th, past three trading sessions, on the 9 exponential moving average. This is our hourly chart, extended hours turned off, and it's holding up. It's going. Our next big battle zone will be 410.49. Our RSI is hot, but we've been hot for 2 days now. We've been hot for essentially not 2 days, but we've been hot. It's cooled off a little bit and then bounced. So what I'm thinking could happen, and stick with me again, not financial advice. I'm not a fortune teller, so what I say isn't 100% going to happen. Keep all that in mind and trade only based off of your own conviction. What I think could happen is we could possibly see some profit taking into the market open. Again, we have to discuss Tesla because Tesla did some really good numbers, and Tesla's a big chunk of the SPY, which could push us if markets decide to do some profit taking, as in we run up in pre-market and we come to this 410.50 and we do some profit taking. I could see us coming and testing the 9 EMA one more time before making another bounce and continuing to go upward. We really, in my personal opinion, need to cool off a little bit. We don't have to cool off too much. Cool off a little bit. At least come and test this 9 EMA before we go the next leg up. Or if we keep running up too fast, we're going to come down really fast, in my personal opinion. Looking at the daily chart very quickly, we can see here that if you look at this little trend line that I had, it was resistance. It was support that flipped into resistance. This purple line right here, purplish line, right? It's very parallel to our 410.50 discussion that we're having here. So this is going to be the key level that I'm watching for a breakout to the next step upward on SPY here. So that's going to be really, really important that I'm watching. Jose, what's up, buddy? Jose says Ryan's the man. He has the best Discord group out there. I appreciate you, Jose. So just really quick plug. If you'd like to join, the Discord is open. We've got 5 slots open for this month. If you want to join, the link's down below. It's a trading-based Discord with education as the main focus. It's meant to help you become a better trader, understand everything going on here. And I do this all the time with them, where I'm providing them with as much information as I can with events, everything that's happening, a nightly watch list. There's a really cool bot, which I can show you some results of from Friday's trading. So I never posted it, but I'm going to show you guys here. So this is from Friday's trades off of the bot. In case you were curious, you can see here that it did very well. Like, we caught the SPY move on Friday, did 670%, 228% on NVIDIA, 400% on Apple, 24% on Carvana, a little 8% move on Shopify. But I want to discuss Shopify too, because I saw someone put it in the chat, and I want to discuss Shopify. It's on the watch list. If you'd like to join, we're more than happy to have you. We'd love more people coming and joining the group. The link's down below. You can also go to discord.ryanstocks.com. Again, only 5 slots open for this month as of right now, but I highly suggest you join. It's a very, very, very good community of traders, and we're trying our best to help you become a better trader. And we've got all these tools and opportunities to help you experiment, practice, and trade. So we discussed SPY, we discussed the events. Now it's my favorite part of the show, where I get to come and chart some of your stocks. Let's discuss. So what I'm going to do is, first off, I'm going to remind you guys of what Tony's saying, to hit that like button. There's awesome number of people in here tonight, but you guys need to tickle that like button. Let's get going. All right, so I'm going to scroll all the way up. And we're going to start off with what Russ said. Russ, my man, Tiring the Bear. He's also part of our Discord trading community. He's the man. And Russ is saying Tesla. And I appreciate him saying Tesla, because that makes my job easier in not having to go and look for an opportunity to discuss this, because it's going to be a big market effector. So what I'm going to do really quickly, I'm going to pull up the investor relations of Tesla, because this is the big thing, right? Today we had Tesla's numbers come out for their cars. Production release. And for the first time in a long time, they actually beat the analyst numbers. And there's a lot of discussion happening about this. So let me flip my view again. Let me zoom in. Again, I like what I'm thinking I'm going to say to you guys. We keep the conversation flowing. And remember, during these conversations that we're having, it's a conversation. I might not be able to hear you or speak to you directly, but I will answer any question you have. If you want to be like, is Tesla bad? Is this sucky? Whatever you want, I'll give you my, again, keyword, opinion. So delivery and production numbers, they beat on both of them versus the analyst estimates. I'm really quickly going to double check the analyst estimates again, just to read them off to you. I have them written down here. Stick with me. I posted it last night into the Discord, so I got to scroll up a little bit. There's a bit of chitter chatter happening in there between yesterday and this morning when these numbers came out. And oh my, where are you? Okay, I forgot there's a search function, right? Tesla estimate. Okay, I keep putting in the E in Tesla when I know Tesla. All right, we want to get these because I want to be 100% confident in telling you that they beat or they didn't, because and if you guys know the number in the chat, you can always be like, hey, look, the estimate was this. You don't have to look for it. I have the number for you right here. So if you guys want, you could definitely do that. Where are you? Okay, I can't seem to find. There's too much chitter chatter going on there. But according to this, both of them were record prints that came through. So that's very, very good. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see how the markets react here. So we beat on, we're going to assume we beat on both because these are both record numbers. And from what I saw, it was a beat on both. But again, if you guys correct me, I'll be more than happy to rescind my discussion. So this is key. What they say here is also key. We continue to transition towards an even regional mix of vehicle builds, including the SNX vehicles, in transit to EMEA and APAC. And again, Tesla's next earnings will be on April 19th. So we're really just 17 days away from their next earnings, which we can see here. If these numbers come in good, Tesla earnings usually come in good. But this is the thing here. Tesla did cut their prices significantly for a short period of time and then quickly bounced them back up and kind of met somewhere in the middle ground when it came down time to selling the cars towards the end of the year and earlier this year. And some prices are still lower. Now, I posted this chart on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw this earlier today, but I'm guessing some of you don't follow me on Twitter, and that's okay. I still welcome you to follow me on Twitter. The link is down below in the description, but we can see here that this had a very good day. This was front run into the event. And personally, I was excited. Personally, I was a little bit scared because a lot of the times what happens is analysts will come in with a higher than estimate number. They will be higher, and then Tesla will miss by like a few hundred or a few thousand vehicles, and it will cause the stock to drop. But this time, it wasn't like that. This time, they actually came in and beat. But the issue is going to be margin when earnings come up. So the big thing that I'm watching here is the next big levels that I'm watching here on Tesla to the upside. Again, a lot of this action you're going to see at 4 a.m. into the pre-market, right? Because people are going to be excited. It's going to be cool, right? You're going to see the first big battle is going to be around 409, 410. You're going to get some action here. If we look back in time a little bit here, you can see the 409, 410 was a battle zone. You're going to see some action here around this volume, the top of this volume wall, around the 412, 413 range. The big battle is going to be this 200 simple moving average, right? Take a look at this. Over time, the 200 simple has been a pain. Even when it breaks out above it, it cannot sustain it. It cannot hold it. This 200 simple moving average on Tesla, again, we're discussing Tesla. If you just got here, Russ asked for it, Tyring the Bear, my boy. The 200 simple moving average is sitting at 215.82. We're going to have to break that 215.82 to make a continuation and test this top fib level at 217.65. That's going to be the big move to the upside. Now, Tesla already had a massive pre-run here on Friday where it ran 5%. That's a big move on Tesla. We have to see two things could happen here. One, we can see a continuation and the FOMO can kick in. Buyers can step up. The bulls can run this up continuously, get us to 410, 413, 415, 417, like we discussed. Or we can see what's called a sell the news event. Now, the cool thing is we broke through this volume wall, so that even if we sell the news, I think the lowest we come down to is maybe 200, again, which is a few bucks off. And then maybe it consolidates for a bit and then makes the next leg up, running it up into earnings. But this is the big thing here is you need to watch to see how the markets react in pre-market and especially right at the open. That's going to be a very, very key thing for this one to see, is it going to sell the news or is it going to continue to FOMO back up? And you got to follow that trend. The simplest thing usually that I find is you're going to want to watch this EMA. So you can see here very strong support on the 9 EMA on the hourly. But if you're day trading this, which I assume some people are going to be day trading this, to catch the move, you're going to really want to watch. Let me turn extended hours off now. I know after hours, extended hours stuff can be a little bit wonky, and retract that. You're going to really want to watch this 90 EMA on the 3-minute here to kind of hold. And usually underneath that, if that doesn't hold, you're going to want to watch this 50 EMA to break. So honestly, until this 50 EMA slash $206 range doesn't break, I'm not looking to short this to the downside. But if it comes down here, begins to bounce, regains the 90 EMA like it did here, this could be a good zone for a nice bounce and pop, and we can see it probably go up. So even if you have a sell then use, it might not be a sell then use to the maximum amount of like boom to the downside, right? I don't think it's going to sell off significantly, even if it does a sell then use thing, hopefully, but we'll have to see. So that was Tesla. We went a lot into that one because Tesla is one of the largest holdings in the S&P. So when Tesla moves, you're going to see the S&P get affected by it, plus all the other EV stocks, Rivian, Lucid, NIO, XPEV, Li Auto, GM, Ford are now being affected because they operate in the EV space too. So that's kind of what I want to kind of remind you, is that it's going to be a big market catalyst mover going into the next week. All right. So that was Tesla in a nutshell. Jose saying NIO. I'm going to discuss NIO in a second. Really quickly, though, we're going to go in order, that these came in. And next up, we have Unity. And Unity is one of my top watches going into tomorrow, but only if it gives us a trade to the upside. Why? This is actually on the watch list. I put out the watch list for the Discord. Again, if you'd like to join, you're more than welcome in joining. It's discord.ryanstocks.com. To make it even easier for you, the link is down in the description. We've got 5 spaces open. If you join, we're more than happy to have you. Plus, it's a tax write-off if you join anything, any teams that you're a part of, any services that you use. For example, let's say you have a Benzinga subscription. You have a TrendSpider subscription. You have a TradeView subscription. Remember to write all those off at the end of the year against your expenses, especially if you're trading for a living. It's a good thing to have these. So they are write-offs. So definitely keep those in mind. So next up, we're going to do Unity, because this is one actually I have on the watch list as well. So I've got Tesla. I've got Unity. This is one that I'm watching to the upside. So let me just quickly pull up my notes on it so that I can see what I have, and we can take a look together. Of course, if it cooperate. Okay, there we go. Okay. So obviously we've got this big gap here on Unity, but it is on the tails of a big volume wall here, right? So I'm just pulling up my notes on the side for Unity. If you're in the Discord, I posted the watch list already. So if you're curious to see the levels there, you definitely can. It's the very first play on there. So again, I'm watching Unity for an upside break, because the downside doesn't have a volume, or didn't have volume on Friday, and has no open interest. When that happens, I tend to avoid that options chain, because I don't want to buy into something and then get stuck, right? You never want to do that. It's not a good idea. And the key values that I like to watch is, I'm looking for over 1,000 open interest and decent volume, which is between like 500, 700, 1,000 at least volume there. So Unity's got this big gap right here, right? So let's draw in that gap so we can see it. I'll put some lines in there for this gap. You got a gap between 35.27 and 36.45, which is right on the cusp of this volume wall. We finally broken this 50 exponential moving average here, and it's really nice to see that for the first time since the 23rd, when these guys kind of sold off on bad earnings. And this is the earnings gap, the remainder of the earnings gap. If we see continuation of this, if we can really break above, what did I put on my level here? This 32.89 range. If we can really break above this 32.89, 290 range, we can go and visit the next resistance area range, which is around the beginning of this volume wall, 34.15, 34.18, right? Because I'm not going to get the exact, because my cursor is not exact, right? We're not precise. But really the next big level is going to be 34.37. That's going to be the next big one that I watch. And then we could probably see us come and start to fill this gap. The bottom of this gap is probably going to give us a little bit of resistance there, Chilo. But once we break that, it'll probably be a quick fill on this one, probably to the upside. So I'm going to be watching that. So if we look at the hourly chart really quickly, we can see the hourly chart is hot. So I wouldn't be surprised, again, just like everything else, if tech runs and everything continues to run, it'll be a party. It'll just shoot up, right? Again, opinion, not a financial advisor, not a fortune teller, whatever, right? But you can see you have a nice gap here in the paywalls, the volume wall, not paywall, the volume wall. So it can push us up very quickly here. And we want to watch that very closely here. So if this breaks over, you'll probably see a quick move to 33.50. And then the next move would be the 34.20, 34.50 range. And then you want to watch the bottom of this gap for your next resistance. But if you lose this 90 EMA, if it comes to retest, comes to refill, comes to come in and try to fill this up, hit that like button, by the way, if you're watching this. Listen to Tony Hill. Hit that like button. If we lose this 90 EMA, this invalidates the setup, in my opinion, for me, and it means this is a no-go. And really, you want to watch for the downside range. Again, you can't trade the downside, unfortunately, because there's no options change with enough liquidity, and from what I'm seeing in my rules. But if you start to lose this 30-20 range, this $30 range, it's going to invalidate the whole thing. So that's kind of my discussion on Unity in a nutshell. Oh boy, Unity is going to be an interesting one. You've got a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. If you call that shoulder 1, head 1, shoulder 2, but again, not a textbook inverse head and shoulder setup. We can see that here you had a bear flag right here. You can see you had a bear flag right here. If we kind of draw this in here, and it kind of it's bear flag / rising. It's more of a rising wedge than it's a bear flag too, right? It's a bear flag, rising wedge, both of them, same thing, right? You have a flag, the post here came down, invalidated, came down, earnings kind of flushed this thing to hell, but there might be some hope for it to return as tech stocks are ramping up, as things are kind of coming back up. This could give us a move to the upside that could be really good. Okay, so for the next few stocks, I'm going to go a little bit quicker to them. I'm going to go quicker through them because I want to make sure to hit all of your stocks. I appreciate you all that are watching. Right now, we are at 48 likes. Let's see if we can get to 70 likes. There's 88 awesome folks of you in here. If you're watching, just hit that like button. It doesn't do anything to your algorithm. It's really done, and it's free. So that's there as well. Quick little Twitter plug as well. If you're not following me on Twitter, do so. Hit that like here. It's going to open it up in a new tab for you, and you'll be able to follow me on Twitter. I just have to really quickly change one setting here. Okay, cool. All right, perfect. So I changed the setting there, so we can go to the next stock. So the next one, Negan, what's up, buddy? Milky, welcome back. I enjoyed our conversation last week. I'm happy you're here. Tony's here. What's up, Tony? AMAT. So AMAT. Let's do it. Applied Materials. If I'm not mistaken, Applied Materials is a chip stock, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check. And if you're curious, the chip stocks, or sometimes they call them semi stocks. These are not semi trucks. These are semiconductors. I know that when I first started, I was like, semi? Why is everyone so concerned about semis? And then I learned that no, it's not semi trucks. It was semiconductors. And AMAT is a semiconductor stock. So AMAT's been consolidating for a bit here. So let's go to the daily chart, actually, so we can take a look at AMAT's been consolidating for a bit, but to the upside, right? It's been chugging up in this kind of this channel right here. Let's draw the channel so we can see it together. It's really, even if you don't draw the channel here, I teach this in the Discord a lot, in the courses there in the Discord that you get access to for free when you join. There's no upsell or bullshit there. Excuse my language. But you can see here that this is forming a triangle here for us, right? And usually this pattern, if it retests here a few times, you tend to often, based off this pattern, have a breakout to the upside. Again, this is all contingent on our friends in the, okay, so sorry, it's just something threw me off. This is all contingent on tech stocks continuing to go, our chip stocks continue to go, and this is really running on sympathy with NVIDIA. AMD kind of cooled off a little bit more than these was, but for this to go to the upside, I'm really going to be watching for this 120. Again, I'm not trading this one personally, and I'm not going to play it off like I am. But if I was trading it, I'd really be watching for holding this 9 exponential moving average and then breaking above this 124, 125 range. And if we look at it on the hourly chart, you can see here that, again, you're going to need to hold this 90 EMA. If this 90 EMA goes, it's going to come straight to the 50 and fill this little tiny gap that, there's no gap there. You see this wick filled that gap for us, but it could come down to the 50 and fill quickly because there's not much volume walls to catch it. This will probably catch it here on the 120 very quickly and then maybe make its ascend back up to the upside and test for a few times. These triangles tend to create a few tests before finally breaking out, and as you can see here, it's tested this 125 several times already. 1, 2, 3, 4 times so far. Maybe the fifth time's the charm there, Tony. So we'll have to see how AMAT plays out to the upside, and if it doesn't, the downside move is sub 9 EMA, which is at 120.54, very parallel to that volume wall that we discussed a few seconds ago. All right. Richard, are you here? Richard Tomlin, are you here? Confirm for me in the chat. I forgot. Kevin says, how do I sign up for your Twitter? Twitter's free, my friend. If you go to the link down below, if I could do this, let's see if I can do this here. You can see my screen. You're watching me within me. If you come here, you click the description. The link is right here down below. There we go. So that's your guys' chat. If you come down to the description of the video, you'll see My Twitter's right here. You can just click it and it'll open up my Twitter and you guys can hit the follow button there. And if you want to join the Discord to learn all this stuff that I'm doing here, I've been able to make it into very easy to understand 5-minute to 10-minute videos for you to be able to replicate and understand very quickly. Again, the stuff that I built that I wish I had when I was learning how to trade. You can hit the Discord there and sign up and join us there. I'll be more than happy, beyond happy to have you actually on our trading team, because we're looking to expand the team, get more folks on there. We'd love to have you. And I also have my own YouTube channel, just quick little final plug. If you click this, you could sign up where I do a ton of economics videos and market outlook videos there as well. And we do some live streams there as well. So that's AMAT in a nutshell. Kevin, thank you so much for asking that awesome question. Sheila, you're more than welcome. Richard is not confirming that he's still here, so I'm going to go to the next one. So I'm going to ask for confirmations on a few of you guys being here. If you're not here, I'm going to go to the next one. Basan, are you still here? Hit me up. Let me know. Let me know if you're still here. Beach Bum, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Tiring the Bear, hello again. Fletcher, what's up? Welcome. Let's go more instruments. All right. Give me the ticker on that one. I'm not sure what the ticker is, but I'll be more than happy to do it. Tassos, what's up? JetBlue, Michael, you still here with me? So I'm waiting for confirmation on Richard, Basan, and Michael. Basan is here. Perfect. Let's go with Basan. So Basan's asking for CPRT. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly, but I'm doing my best. CPRT. So I'm really going to quickly check to see what CPRT is. CPRT. And if you guys want, you can always give me like a little description on what you're looking at, what your thesis is on this stock. I'd love to get your ideas on this one. So it's an auto trucking dealership consumer cyclical stock. Okay. It's called Copart Inc. It sounds very familiar. Let me give it a quick Google. Okay, they're an online car auction. So the used cars and repairable cars, used car sector. Okay, so very similar to like Carvana. And these others. Michael, I see you. What's up, Nocturnal? We have not done Apple yet. If you want, you're in the queue now with Apple. So let's take a look at CRPT. Okay, all right. So this guy had a big gap down here. It doesn't say it's for earnings, but it had a big gap down, which that's not good. But you can see earnings kind of helped it out a little bit here. It's not giving me earnings, kind of brought it back to life, but it's been kind of fighting to get to where it needs to go. It's built some 90 EMA support here, but this is a big, ugly gap. Basan, do you by any chance know why this gap down happened? If not, I'm going to pull up Benzinga. Let me pull up Benzinga Pro, and we can kind of get an idea of why this gap happened. All right, here's Benzinga Pro, CRPT. Oh, sorry, CPRT. CPRT. You start seeing all these letters and so many different variables and variations together that it kind of throws you off at a certain point. So the day of the gap down was November 2nd, November 3rd, 2022. Wow, a long time ago. Okay, not that long ago on the scroll down. Okay, so there's a Form 8, a Form 5. Okay, let's see what these say. This probably wasn't good news. The company's stockholder amendment for okay, so I see. Okay, so they extremely diluted. They went from 400 million to 1.6 billion shares. So now I understand why the stock sold off so quickly. Josh, I'm not falling for that one, pal. I'm not falling for that one because I know that's not a stock, but that's hilarious. All right. So CPRT's fighting. We can see here that it's also formed a bit of a channel itself here. Again, I draw the lines and then I'll adjust them. We'll get them clean. Don't get mad at me. And some folks are like, your lines sometimes can get a little bit wonky. That's okay. We have the edit option here. This it's written in pencil, not pen. Really, your better bet here is to really look at that curvature on the 9 EMA. That's really, again, I wish I could make this screen a little bit bigger. That's coming through a little bit better. That's formed there, and we can see here that this is kind of also following, again, I'm including Friday. Probably if we hadn't drawn Friday would have probably looked like a breakout, but it's trying to push its way up. It's slowly inching up. Again, this is a stock that I don't know much about, but there's a huge volume wall here. So again, if this can make it and start chugging up, gets any burst of volume, this could push it quickly to the 200 simple moving average around 90. But again, this took a massive hit due to dilution. You can even see here the writing was the stock chart was very It was very bearish even before this happened. If you take a look at this, you have a bear flag, a massive bear flag, and then the news came. So I don't know if the chart knew somehow, but the bear flag played out significantly. So again, this to the downside, you're going to need to, if you want to play it to the downside, you have to lose that 9 exponential. To play it to the upside, you're going to really need to, let's go to something like the weekly chart. I don't know how long this IPO has been out, but if we look at you're going to really want it to break above this $78, $79 range to the upside to be able to kind of push this thing to the upside. But again, I don't know much about this one. I'm not sure if you're playing calls on it, if you're just playing some raw shares, but I don't know too much about this company to be able to tell you, but it looks like it's a very, very low float company. No, excuse me. It's a higher float. I was looking at the short float, not the regular float. And the volume, the average volume is 1.92. So it's not that crazy low, but it's to the lowish side for a company which is at a $35 billion market cap. The volume's kind of low there. But okay, so we did see our PT to as best as we could. If you have any follow-up questions, please come on through, Basan. More than happy to help. Next up, we've got Michael. Michael, what's up? Michael, JetBlue. I know JetBlue. Here's a stock that I've actually heard of before. JetBlue Industries, Airways Corporation. Excuse me, not Industries. All right, let's see if there's any. So the OPEC news is going to probably cause oil to surge up significantly. We do know that for sure. Basan saying it's shares for the long term. If you like it to the long term, if you like it, I definitely say this. Keep an eye on the company. Keep an eye on shares filings that come through from this company. It looks like a really good opportunity if it can sort of fight its way back up. If they can provide that value to shareholders, it could be really good to the upside, especially if we can get to that 200 moving average. It's a nice swing play there, but we'll have to obviously see throughout the time span of this kind of holding through and holding out. All right. Let me adjust this thing right here. We're at 54 likes. Let's see if we can get to 70. The goal is 70 likes. Keep hitting that like button. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys being here. Sunday fun day, stock market prep. Thank you. Thank you. Let's keep going. All right. So JetBlue. Let's go to the chart on JetBlue. So one thing that I always like to do, Michael, when I'm looking at JetBlue, I like to look at the ETF of the airlines to see how the whole airline sector is doing. And that ETF is called JETS. I will come back to JetBlue. I'm not trying to throw off your thing, but I like to look at JETS to see how in correlation the airline that I'm looking at is with this ETF, which holds all the airlines in it. And it's almost, as you just saw, almost 1-to-1 with JetBlue, with the big battle zone being that 200 moving average, right? Which is sitting at 1874 here on JETS. So let's go back to JetBlue. Again, you see this almost a parallel chart. It's really, really interesting to see. They're almost, but again, it shouldn't be a surprise unless if you have an outlier usually from this that's lagging. That means it's an opportunity for an upside move. And if it's too much higher, it means it'll probably even itself out usually. But this one, it's almost 1-to-1. So let's take a look. Let me see what I'm seeing here. So again, you're operating again in a beautiful, beautiful uptrend here, and you've got a little bit of issues forming around here. So you're forming a little bit of a rising wedge here, not textbook, but a little bit of a rising wedge, which kind of worries me, right? If it loses this 9 EMA and this support channel here, you'll see it quickly come down to the 715 range. Now it's not too far off from where you are, but again, this is operating in the sub $10 world stock. I'm not sure if you're trading options on this one or if you're trading regular shares. Regular shares, it's not too big of a move. It would actually be healthy for it to come down and test that because it'll fill this gap here and create a healthier chart. I don't like charts with too many gaps in it. I don't think it's healthy, but fills that gap and then bounces back up. That's one opportunity. So you could play to the downside and the upside. But if you really want to move to this next big area, which is around the 730 here, if you look here, it tested it a few times within this range here. Perfect. He's in shares. That's probably a better idea for something like this is shares to kind of watch that move around. Especially as we're going into the summertime, these guys should be heating up with people going on vacation and stuff like that. It usually kind of tends to help the airlines, but that's the thing. So the first big level is this 738. Next, I'll be watching this 750 range, which is very parallel to our 200 simple moving average. This is a big battle zone for this guy. If you look here, the 200 has not been kind to JetBlue ever since back in February of 2023. So if it can regain the simple 200 moving average on the daily to the upside, that creates concrete support and that creates a runway, no pun intended, for this stock to take off. But if we lose this 9, we fill this gap, and we lose this 50 moving average, you have a path down to the $7 range. So I would say if you're in shares, I definitely have a stop loss there with whatever your tolerance of comfortability is, 10%, 15%, 7%. Have that there just in case this happens, and keep an eye on it as you're initiating your trade. And as it's going to the upside, I would scale some of this puppy out as it's going to the upside. And I'm assuming you're doing with a chunky amount of shares as you're trading shares on this and not options. So I would say maybe scale out on the way up. Unless it's for the long term, then that's 100%. I would say keep your eye on it. And you've got a good cost average. You're saying your cost average is at 650. So you're gelling because the 200 moving average is at 7. Your cost base is at 650. You're already almost $1, 75 cents rather, above where your cost average is. So you're kind of gelling in there. So that's cool. So definitely keep your eyes there. Have that stop loss, in my opinion, and keep going. So to the upside, again, one more time for a quick review, you're going to want to break out of this wedge, break this 738 to come and then test this 750 off this 200 simple moving average, giving you a nice dollar move, and you're waiting for 759 to sell or so. Okay, right. So I would say this though, keep your eye, the moving average changes. My personal opinion, don't want to give you any advice, none of my business, right? But personally, I'd be watching that simple moving average there for the upside, and I would scale out as we touch it and as we break out of it. That's just my 2 cents. So Michael, I hope that helped. That's JetBlue. So, okay, let's get some confirmation on who else is here with us. Trina said looking for some pre-market trades. Trinia, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Let me know in the comments. If you have any stocks you want me to look at for your pre-market moves. But really, pre-market, you're going to see Tesla is going to be the big boy in pre-market. That's going to really move the EV sector and move the EV stocks. Is going to be Tesla, in my opinion, especially due to these good numbers. Tesla is the big kahuna to really watch going into tomorrow's pre-market. That's going to be a mover, and that's going to move the S&P directly, as we discussed just a short while ago. So you want to definitely keep your eyes there for that pre-market move there, and that's going to move some sympathy plays, which a few of the stocks are in our queue, like NEO, EVgo, which we're going to get to because those are important. They're going to definitely have some effect. Kevin says, do you broadcast every Sunday like this? Yes, I do. This is our second week in a row, and the goal is to do this every Sunday, and I'm going to be doing more of these on my personal YouTube channel, and link into the description. So if you'd like, I'd love to have you guys subscribe there as well and join us. We do a lot of this stuff, and if you're looking for more trading opportunities like this, or if you want to have access to a trading team that can give you answers like this on the fly, being me myself, you can join the Discord. The link is down below. It's a total value add to you as a trader. It's a write-off. It's a ton of bang for your buck. It's really the best trading Discord out there, in my personal opinion, because I've been in a ton of other Discords, and I'm always been looking for ways to provide you value throughout the movements there. So if you'd like to join the Discord, you can. That's also down below. Well, again, only 5 slots open at this time for this month. Come on through. Let's have some fun. All right. Trinia says anything from $2 to $20, low float. We'll take a look at some stuff in a few. I'll have to run like a scanner or something to see some stuff pop up there, because I don't really trade that range personally from for penny stocks and pre-market. I don't trade this because the market really hasn't really been there. If you have any in mind, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to chart them for you. But then later on, if we find some pocket of time, we'll jump into some stuff and pick some stuff up. I know there's some here in the queue that are within that range, so maybe it'll kind of overlay each other. All right, let's see. Who do we have next? Negum says, Apple. Negum, you still here? I have a feeling you're still here, but confirm for me if you're still here. Nocturnal is also saying Apple, so we got double confirmation. 2 people want Apple. Kevin says, can you show your Twitter one more time and YouTube how to sign up again? I missed it. Now I can write it down. Sure thing. So if you go to the description right here, so you're watching the video right here, you're me, I'm you watching the video. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this little description here. It probably looks like this for you right now. You want to click this, and if you click on this link right here, let me just zoom in a tad bit. If you click this link right here, the second to last one, that is my Twitter. It's my name. It's just, as you can see it, probably if I turn your tag off, you'll see my name. It's there. The YouTube is also right underneath it. If you want everything, if you want access to everything in one shot, just go to ryanstocks.com. Let me put that in the chat for you to make it a little bit easier in case you're having some issues with the description panel. It's ryanstocks.com. Very simple, very easy. All the links are there for the Discord, my Twitter, YouTube, everything is there. you can find everything there. So everything in one big kahuna is right there. So Negam's here, Nocturnal's here for Apple. Let's do that really quickly. I want to get a confirmation on the next person so I can have both of them there. So I saw someone. I hope I didn't miss them. Okay. Richard never confirmed being back, so I guess Richard posted and dipped. Sorry, pal. I'm not doing your stock if you're not here. J Pong, are you here? That's a lot of tickers. I'm gonna do one of them. So pick one of them if you're still here. Give me a confirmation. If you're still here, give me one of them. If you have more time, we'll come back and do more of them. So right now, let's do Apple. We're waiting on Jay to confirm. And hit that like button while you're still here. Let's get this like count to 70. We just need a few more of you to come on through. Come on through. So let's go to Apple. Before we go to Apple, I need some water. All right. By the way, if you're watching this on Twitter, I can't see the comment section at all. Fantastic suggestion. We will do that. We will definitely do. We did it in the beginning, but I'll come back and do it again really quickly as well to give you a full overview of the markets for this past week. We'll do a quick one after we do like 2 more stocks. We'll come and do a quick little one. And you're saying, what is? Oh, you said I clicked on you wrong. This is what you said. And what is this live stream? The point of this live stream is me. I'm Ryan. Welcome. It's me to kind of help prepare you for the stock market for the upcoming week. What I do in the beginning is I do a review of the events that are coming up in the coming week, some SPY analysis discussing what happened last week and what could happen next week. And then I do some live charting of charts that you guys want done and you guys are curious about. So that's kind of that's what this live stream is. So welcome. More than happy to have you. And if you have any stocks you want charted, preferably just one for the time being, just because we've got so many charts in the demand queue. Throw them in here. If we run out, we'll come back and we'll do more stocks. So welcome. All right, let's do Apple. Where's my boy Negan's comment so I can throw it on the screen? Thank you, chat, again for being here. Appreciate you guys all being here. Jay, what's up, buddy? Yes, we will definitely look at Oxy. I promise we will look at Oxy because oil is going to be interesting going into the next week. Where's the comment? Okay. Negan, where'd your comment go, man? There you go. All right, cool. Let's get started. Apple, hourly chart, it's hot, right? It's hot. It's been moving. Past 3 trading sessions has been chugging. This thing has really been a roller coaster. Really what a lot of people are saying the momentum caused by this is that EV headset. Not EV, excuse me. That metaverse VR headset, EV. What am I saying? Headset that's coming out. So that's really the thing that's really been chugging this puppy up. And really that 165 range is a big battle zone. So let's take a look at it on the daily chart. We can see here that this is going to it's been moving, right? 9 EMA, massive support form there on the short term. Just been chugging since the beginning of March. Came down, tested the 200, ramped back up. This thing, the next big battle zone is that 165, then 167.50 range is going to be the next big battle zone. And then you're going to hit your biggest fight is going to be that 170, 171 range. That's going to be a pain in my opinion. So definitely make sure to watch that one there for the upside. But if we kind of go into a macro view and see what's going on here with Apple, you've got a bit again. I'm not going to say it because I don't think it's accurate, but I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe it's a bit of an inverse head and shoulders, but it's not clean enough in my opinion to find a neckline for it to be an inverse head and shoulder. This is what I was thinking was this right here. 1, 2, 3, but it's not clean enough. Rather, I would treat this more as a resistance trend line, right? Where it's in this channel. Take a look at this. You're really within this. It's not really the channel anymore, right? Because the channel you need a top and a bottom half, and you do sort of have one here. So you do have a channel here of support. Channel of let me change the support to green. So you are within this channel chugging up. Again, we're on the hourly chart for Apple. So you really want this 9 EMA to hold. If the 9 EMA breaks, you're going to really want to watch. Even this line, I don't like this line. I don't like this trend line. Sometimes I prefer the EMA more than this trend line right now. If this the 9 EMA breaks, you're going to want to come and see it test and fill this tiny gap that you have here to that 161 level. Personally, that's what I'm watching here to that 161. If we can break out, if tech stocks keep moving, everything keeps chugging, and we can break out of this top of this channel level here, you'll probably come again and test that 160, 167.50 is going to be your next big battle zone. Apple, here's a little trick tip for Apple. Apple tends to move in 50-cent increments for its support and resistance. It's really weird. It tends to do that on average. Where I've seen is moves in 50-cent increments. Like for example, you can see here we closed at almost 165. Your next big battle is going to be 165.50, 166, 166.50, so on and so forth to the upside. That's really the kind of a trick with Apple, is that it kind of tends to move that way. So, but your next big battle zones, it's going to be around this volume wall around 167, mid 167, 168. If it breaks that, it's going to be that 170, 171 to the upside. But the downside, because we always like to discuss both sides of the conversation, if we lose this 9 EMA, we're coming straight to this 50 EMA. 50 EMA goes, you're going to probably come and test the bottom of this gap around 159.35. And if that goes, you're probably going to fill this gap very quickly, come down to 157, so on and so forth. Again, we like to look at both sides of the conversation because it's a lot easier that way to understand and prepare for both sides. Whichever side plays out, we'll go with that side, make money off of that one, and keep chugging along. Hopefully that answered the questions. I know we knocked out two people's, Negan and Nocturnal, both members of the Discord. Appreciate you guys both so much for being here and supporting and watching. You guys are the best. And everyone, all of you guys, thank you for being here. So I'm scrolling back up to catch some more stock tickers. I know that J Pong asked for a stock down here. We confirmed he's here. He says, take a look at Arlo. You got it. I just want to put the next person in the queue to confirm that they're here. AMD, Alvaro Vila, do me a favor. If you're here, let me know if you're here for your AMD and V8 instruments. Let me know if you're here for DoQ. So you folks are the next two in the queue. And then after that, we have Elizabeth with AEHR. So if all three of you can confirm you're still here, I'd appreciate it. And we will keep going. So let's take a look at J Pong's request was Arlo. Alvaro, what's up? Welcome. Thank you for confirming you're here. V8's also confirming they're here. Thank you so much for being here. So let's get started. Let's look at ARLO. All right. Someone was asking. I forgot who it was. I forgot what her name was. Where'd she go? Trinia was asking for stocks within that $2 to $20 range. Here you are. We got one. Told you there's going to be a bit of an overlap, and this one's consolidating. So this could be nice. Let's take a look. All right. Consolidating right under a fat volume wall. All right. So take a look at this. You've got, I don't like green right here. Let's go to yellow. I want it to stand out, especially when you guys are seeing this. I want it to pop so you guys can see it. We've got a bit of a channel that formed here. Not a channel. Take that back. A bit of a range here. Again, it's more of a triangle forming here. It's going to get tighter. I don't think it's going to be a quicker mover here. Let me just pull up something. I want to see the float on Arlo. ARLO. Give me 1 second. I'm looking at it on a different screen. So 85 million float, so that's going to move quicker. It's a average volume of 1 million a day. So it's a lower volume mover, but again, it's a penny-ish. I'm calling it anything under $10. I call it penny stock. I know the rule's under 5, but that's just my madness. So really, I'm looking for a breakout of this triangle. If this triangle breaks out, we're probably going to go test the 675 range. That's the next big battle zone, is that 675. We break out of here, we go fight the 675. You're going to have to break through 630, then 650, then you're going to come and see 675. So these volume walls could be a pain unless you get like a nice little catalyst here. I know earnings are coming up. Maybe that can push it. But if that doesn't break out of here to go to the next two volume walls here, and break above those two volume walls, and it rejects here, you'll probably see it come back down and test the 9 EMA here around 568. And if that goes, you'll test this base trend line support of the triangle. If that goes, you're coming down to the 200. That goes, you're coming down to the 50, right? So you got the downside move, very textbook. The upside move, somewhat textbook as well. It needs to break out of these and break through these two volume walls. These two volume walls are like iron walls right now, Jay, on Arlo. This thing needs to go. I'm really curious. I've heard of Arlo before. Okay, they're engaged in... Oh, so this is an AI play. No, intelligent cloud infrastructure for mobile apps and a variety of connections through devices. Okay, so they're not exactly an AI place. Oh, it is. Excuse me. Cutting edge artificial intelligence. Okay, so this could get some pump off of the AI moves, and we know AI stocks have been moving. Paid subscribers, so he's got some good news on the 16th, but we're a few weeks off of that. So you're not. So that's what caused this move right here. And you have a gap there. So for Arlo to go, we're gonna need to break the top of this trend line. Excuse me, this resistance line right here. Break through these two volume walls, and you got a smoother path to the upside here. Once those go, it can really send it again. If you get volume, if you get some decent volume on this, more than the average volume of 1 million, it'll move very quickly because the float is lower. So we'll definitely do that. Milky, I see you. Rivian, we're going to definitely touch those, I promise. You probably thought about Arlo, the security trading cameras. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I was like, I've heard of these guys before, but it's not, I didn't think those guys were publicly traded. But all right, I hope that helped on Arlo. Next up, who do we have next up? I hate having to scroll up and down. Once you guys confirm you're here, do me a solid. When you guys confirm you're here, just put the stock you guys want in your confirmation as well. That'll make my life a little bit easier. Okay. Alvaro with AMD. And then we got V8 with Docu. And then if you can confirm, Elizabeth, are you still here for AEHR? Jose, are you still here for NEO? And Tony, are you still here for PLTR? Just do me a solid, confirm those. And then we'll do the next batch after. So let's do AMD. So I'm going to do AMD. I know you asked for two, but we only got time for one each. Leo, what's up? Welcome, welcome. Did we do Disney? Fletcher, not yet, but now it's in the queue. Let's take a look at AMD. Again, guys, just a quick reminder, I'm doing the stocks in the order that they came in. So if you scroll up, you'll see a bunch of folks who were here earlier. They threw stocks in the chat. So obviously, got to respect them. They came in first. They dropped it in. So first come, first serve. But I'm going to be here for a while. We're already at the hour mark. Do me a solid. Hit that like button. We're 10 away from the goal. What are you doing? Hit that like, especially if you're asking for a stock. Do me a solid. Hit that like button. All right, AMD. I don't know what happens. My voice sometimes tends to get dry. Michael, welcome. Still here. AI, you got it. My voice tends to get a little bit dry. Take a look at this. I prefer to look at this one on the hourly because there's a lot of action. Drawing the same lines that we had on the daily chart now on the hourly. You can see very parallel triangle forming here. Symmetrical triangle here. Sort of. This guy has been running. The chip stocks have been running. It all started with the NVIDIA discussion of, hey, NVIDIA's AI day. NVIDIA's CEO did a fantastic job presenting. That guy knocked it out of the park. He presented everything as if like a 5-year-old could understand what NVIDIA did. It was really well done. Credit to him. Elon Musk should get some classes from him on presenting. Elon's gotten better, believe me. But this guy knocked it out of the park. All right. Let's take a look. So for an AMD to make its next leg up, we need to break above this resistance trend line. This thing has been a pain in the neck. You can see it here on the daily. This thing needs to go. And it's around that $99 range is really where it needs to kind of pop out of to be able to come back and retest this 100, 101, 102 range before making its way up. But it's been a pain point for this stock in the past as well. If you look here in the past, I know these candles might look some jumble mumble. Let me go to like a weekly chart, consolidate the juice a little bit. If you look here, this kind of range where the stock is sitting in has been a pain point for it. So let me draw it so it's a little bit easier. Take a look at this. This kind of range has been a pain for the stock, right? Every time it comes here around this 98 to 102 range, it could be a pain. Again, this is to the 110. It's a little bit, I drew it a little higher than where I would like it to be. So let me kind of tighten it a little bit if it plays ball with me here. Around to this range has been a pain. If we can break out of this, we can come and test the 110 range. And if that breaks out, we've got a path much higher, right? 115, 120, so on and so forth, all the way up. But if we come here and we lose this bottom trend line, really this 50 EMA, I would ignore the 90 EMA here. They're so tight to each other. I'd focus more on the lower one. If this guy goes and then we lose the support here at 95, you'll fill this tiny little gap that's here. And then if you come and you really lose this $93, $92 range here, you've got a big volume gap here. That's not good. That's why, like, for example, when I say I don't like when stocks run up too fast, they come down quickly. It's because they create these volume gaps. And when these volume gaps come in, there's legacy support there. But within this range, right, this is what? This is a massive day. We opened at 89. We closed at 93, really 94. So you've got about over $3 day here. It kind of comes and it can kind of fill this gap it's not a gap, right? This volume gap. It can come and drop very fast. So you want to watch this very closely. For the upside, you need to break this $89, $99 range to come and retest the 101, 102. If you lose these EMAs here, your first test is going to be here around $95 range. If it fills this gap, it'll fill this gap here. Then your next real range you're going to really want to watch closely is 93.70 and then 93 flat, right? 92.90, not 93 flat. So that's AMD in a nutshell. Hope that answers some questions there. Brian, you've been here for an hour. Shout out to you guys if you're still here, if you've been here with us the whole hour. We're one away from 70 likes. Smash it. Let's get us to that goal, and then we can set the next goal. I'm tired. It's a lot of talking, but I promise we're going to get through as much of these as we can. All right. Who is next? All right. We just did AMD. Docu series from V8 Instruments. Very cool. Very cool user handle. DocuSign is becoming a company that I'm finding myself using more and more. I guess maybe because it's tax season and I'm signing like a bunch of documents and stuff, but I'm seeing DocuSign pop up a lot. So it's really interesting because there was a time where DocuSign wasn't really too prevalent. Then it came back on during COVID. Then it died off, and now it looks like it's coming like back again. So it's really, really interesting that you bring up Docu. Been here for more than an hour. Leo, thank you so much. Chilos has been here and enjoying it. Thank you so much. Docu has a presentation this week also. Thank you, Miss Lucia. Wow, I didn't know that. Miss Lucia, if you can give me some details on that, that'd be cool. I'm going to pull it up on Benzinga Pro because we want to keep that in mind in the back of our heads once we're doing this analysis, right? Let's see what it is. Not signing me out. Offering employees via benefits. Okay, this is an employee benefit offering. It shouldn't really affect too much, but sometimes it creates some fear. Participate in an upcoming investor event. So I'm assuming that's what you're discussing. The investor event. Here we go. There's a quick little presser. Morgan Stanley Silicon Valley software bus tool. Okay, so these happen a lot. These can sometimes be, if they do really well, you can see like Morgan Stanley increase their position if they have a position. And yes, it is tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. So we'll have to see. That could cause some movement there if it's good, right? If Morgan Stanley, if it's good, if the investors come on board, if people start buying into it, you could see the ricochet effect, filings coming in down the road. We'll see. But we're going to go through this and assume that event isn't there, right? But we'll keep it in the back of our heads when we discuss the upside, and I'll tell you exactly where. First off, this is a very clean chart. This thing has been consolidating for a while. It's been very, very clean. Take a look at this. You've got kind of like the bottom of your channel here. It's been kind of really oscillating between this bottom range, which let me extend it a little bit here, as you can see, this bottom range and the 50 and the 9 EMAs, and then it comes to the 200, and it hasn't been very kind to the 200 moving average with this really fat volume. Well, again, we're on the hourly chart right now. Stick with me. If we want to move really big to the upside, we're going to need to break this 200 moving average, which is sitting at $59, essentially $59. Once that goes, your next big battle is going to be this high after this gap down on earnings. The high after the gap down on earnings, especially on your way up, tends to usually be an annoying resistance. And we can see we have parallel volume walls there on it. So around this, essentially this $59.69, very funny number. This $59.60 range is going to be annoying on it. If I could just make a little quick funny comment here about what happened. So at 9 o'clock, I know that Succession comes on, and at 9 o'clock I saw a huge dip in the viewers and the stream. I'm like, oh no, they all left to go watch Succession. But that's I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was funny. But to get to the upside move, we're going to want to see this breakout. Break above the 200, break above the $59.60 range, and then continue up. And it has a path to come and fill this gap. Especially like Miss Lucia said, if that investor day thing goes well, people start buying into the stock, investors start buying into the stock heavily more, you can see this gap fill very nicely and very beautifully to the upside. Now let's take a look at it on the daily chart. What was it looking up on the daily chart? Very, very consolidation mode. Very similar consolidation. Because again, the hourly chart is just this accordion stretched out version of the hourly chart. JNR, what's up? Welcome, welcome. So let's take a look at this. Again, very similar situation here. It's getting tight. It's getting tight here. Again, this is a fat volume wall, and that's what's really been holding it back, right? That $59 to $60 range that we discussed. We break out of this. The next big battle is going to be 61, and then we really have a small battle at 62, and then we can quickly come and fill this gap to 64. So the gap's not too big. If I remember, DocU isn't too much of a higher float. It's a 200 million float, so it's going to move fast with volume. But once these gaps start to fill, you're going to see it shouldn't be one of those gaps that takes a long time to fill because there isn't too much holding it back. But it can, if it does, it can. Master Splinter. I'm not sure what that means, but what's up? You got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan in the crowd. All right, let's go to the next stock. So V8 I hope that answered some questions about what we were discussing. Elizabeth never confirmed being here. Tony, are you still here with us? I don't remember seeing your confirmation. Tony, are you still here? For Palantir, please confirm. I'm going to rest my voice for 2 seconds while I look for the next stocks to pull up. So, again, we did nocturnals. Yes, I do this every Sunday, Kevin. Okay. Tony, please confirm you're here for Palantir. Jose, do me a solid, confirm for Neo. And Mike, confirm for RBA, please, if you're still here. Do me a solid and confirm. We'll get to all the tickers if you're still here. There's a queue of tickers that are here. Jump in there, and do it. You know what? We'll do SPY right now. It's a good idea while we're waiting for folks to confirm. We'll do SPY really quickly, and then we'll come back to it. And then we'll come back to the queue while we're waiting for folks to confirm that they're still here with their stocks. So let's do SPY very quickly. Again, if you want, you can rewind. We did a fuller overview of the S&P SPY earlier. I think it was the second thing we did in the stream. But here we are, SPY again. This is the big thing on SPY. We're going to have to watch to see how Tesla moves in the pre-market. If Tesla does its thing in pre-market, chugs up and sends everybody to the moon, we can probably see SPY deal with it. SPY's next big battle is $410.50, right? $410.49.50, whatever. It's 1 penny difference. That's the next big battle zone. But if Jose, thank you so much for your confirmation. Michael, I still see you. We got you with AI. We'll do them, promise. If we come down here and we hit 410.50 and we reject, we probably have a path to come and retest 407.39, and this 9 exponential will probably be here at that time, right? But if we lose the 9 EMA, something goes wrong, again, we have a huge week of events that we discussed earlier. If any of these events gets ugly on the S&P and goes against what markets are looking for, which is a lighter labor market, we can see this puppy come in and flush down and fill this gap to 403. Again, not trying to be a harbinger of bad news, but again, it's a possibility. But if we can break 410.50, we've got a path to around the 411, 412 range. That breaks. The next big battle is around 413.84, 414. That breaks. You got a path to the 415, 416 range. So you've got both upside discussion and downside discussion. Hope that helped. If you have any follow-up questions, drop them in the chat. More than happy to help. But the big thing is going to be you're going to want to watch Apple, Microsoft, as Jay's putting in the chat, and Tesla. Really, Tesla's going to be really setting the tone for the markets tomorrow is going to be Tesla, and obviously Apple's the largest holding in SPY, so whatever that does, usually SPY tends to follow, especially if Microsoft is in a parallel direction. So Jose confirmed that he's here for Neo. Let's do it. Let's do Neo really quickly. Jose is also part of the Discord team. Please tell me you guys saw it. I just typed Jose's name up there instead of typing in Neo. My pleasure. And Jose's also part of our Discord team. So Jose, by the way, if you ever have any questions on charts, you want me to chart you anything, shoot me a DM on the Discord. I'd be more than happy to help. If you guys want to join the Discord, you can. The link is at ryanstocks.com or discord.ryanstocks.com directly right here. Join us. We've got 5 slots for the month. More than happy to have you. All right, let's take a look at NIO. Again, NIO is going to move in sympathy with our buddy Tesla tomorrow, right? And NIO's been in a bit of a battle zone here. NIO hasn't had the best movement in a long time, and NIO is a higher float stock. I think, it's 1.36 billion with an average volume of 45 million. So the volume is good, which is good, right? But the issue here with NIO is it's been in a massive downtrend, as you can probably see here. Miss Lucia, Tesla had really good numbers. We discussed Tesla I want to say 35 minutes ago. If you want to rewind, we had a cool little discussion about Tesla. It was the first stock that we covered here on S&P. All right, so let's take a look at NIO. One thing to keep in mind with NIO, Alibaba, Li, XPEF, so on and so forth, is that these guys are affected by the Chinese markets as well. So if China craps out overnight and things are ugly in China, you could probably see that ricochet here on NIO as well. So just kind of keep that in the back of your head. So we are at the top of a big volume wall, right? It's been fighting through this volume wall. It's been rejecting the top volume wall. And finally, for the past 2 trading sessions, was able to get into the volume wall. Tony's here. What's up, Tony? I thought you left, but we'll do Palantir after NIO. If we can break through this volume wall right here around this $10.85 range right here, we can come and fill this gap to 11.20. If that fills up, we can kind of come up, and your next big battle zone is 11.80. So again, this stock tends to move slower these days than when it used to be the big firecracker. NIO used to be a hot commodity mover. It was a firecracker of a stock. It was just all over the place. It was really cool. It moved really well. It sometimes moved just like Tesla, where it had that level of volatility. These days, it's kind of calmed down in its teenage years, post its IPO a few years ago. It's kind of calmed down post COVID. But if we can see this kind of break over this volume wall, it's got a path to fill this gap. If we take a look at it on the hourly chart here, if you lose this 9 EMA, you have some support down here with this volume wall to catch you around $10. But if that $10 area goes, you've got a quick path down to 975, which is right at that 50 EMA. If this guy goes, you've got a really fast moving. You can see there's a bit of a volume gap here. It's not going to be, it'll move quick, especially if they're selling heavy. If something bad happens and it starts to sell, you'll come quickly down to this $930 to $917 range here to the downside on NIO. But if you want the move to the upside, you're really have to break this volume wall that we discussed. Let me turn off this moving average so I can kind of get it in for you a little bit better. You're going to want to really have to break this volume wall that we were discussing here. Clean, get above it. That break above this, push up, forward, fill this gap, and kind of be able to push it to keep going. So Jose, I hope that helped you with NIO. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know. Listen to Tony. Hit that like button. We're 1 away from 75. Oh, we just did 75. Let's go. Appreciate you guys for 75 likes. You're the best. Thank you so much. Also, remember, do me a solid if you can. This isn't my channel. This isn't my platform. I have the pleasure of streaming through Benzinga. But if you guys want, you can find all my stuff at ryanstocks.com. The Discord's there. The Twitter's there. The YouTube's there. I promise you the Discord has a ton of value to add. I'm really there at your beck and call 24/7 almost to help you do anything you need to become a better trader. The whole goal there is that. If you'd like to join, please consider it. And if you have any questions before joining, you can ask now, or you could also, as always, just hit me up on Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And again, here's a sample of the watchlist bot results from Friday. 670% on Tesla. It caught the move. I caught the move on Tesla before it even went down a few days before. I was seeing this consolidation happening. Again, I post these charts for the team all the time, right? I'm like, hey, this is what I'm seeing to the upside. Let me know what you guys think, because it's an open discussion there. It's not like the overlord. It's not one of those discords. I was like, hey, look, it's consolidating here, and it was. Tesla was consolidating here. It's retesting. This could break out if GDP is good, PCE is good, and boom, we can literally see here the chart bigified. What am I saying? expanded here, and she broke out on Thursday, and then Friday we got the big move, ran 670%, and the bot caught it. No bias there. It did its thing. So again, if you'd like to join discord.ryanstocks.com, more than happy to have you there. Would mean the world. And of course, my Twitter's here. My YouTube's also there. I'm going to be getting back to doing more YouTube videos very, very shortly. I needed a quick hiatus because I got sick. All right. Next up is Palantir for my buddy Tony. Palantir is one of those fan favorites, one of those stocks that retail traders love. It gets a lot of love, gets a lot of attention, and it unfortunately doesn't move too much. It's not one that I really like trading personally because it's such a high float stock. It is sitting at 176 billion float, and it really only gets 41 million. And really, on average days, you're seeing this stock move 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents, not too much. On Friday, it had a really good day, up 30 cents. But again, if you're trading options, this might not be the best pick there, just because, like for example, if we look at the 850, you can see even the volume is quite low on the options chains. Again, it could be because we're talking on a Sunday. Options expired on Friday. But really what I'm watching here, for a big move to the upside, you're going to need to break this volume wall. You can see this volume wall is holding you back. And we discussed a lot of volume walls tonight. But let me actually move this very parallel here. Around this $8.60 range needs to be broken. Needs to be broken to push us up even further. Jose, I appreciate you. You're the best. I always appreciate interacting with you. We're going to need to break over 863. And then your next big battle is going to be this wick right here. Again, remember we discussed we gapped up and then kind of came and filled the gap here on Palantir. We didn't discuss that. I don't know what I'm saying. But the next big battle zones are going to be this volume wall right here around the $9, $9.15 range. And then, of course, around this $9.30 range right here. So you've got two big battle zones there for Palantir to the upside. But the downside comes into play if she loses this 9 and 50 moving average, essentially this $8 range. It can kind of come down to 780 and then 750 very quickly if things don't get, if it doesn't, a catalyst doesn't come in and catch us off. That data that we discussed earlier in our Zoom session, in our live stream, doesn't catch us, we can see this puppy come in and fill very quickly, and that will not be pretty in my personal opinion. Again, it's not going to be something that comes down and it's like down $7 on Palantir, right? The float's high, the volume's not too crazy, but you could have like a few. You can see on even on its best days, right? It moves $1.60, 89 cents, 40 cents. So it's not going to be a crazy mover in that sake. But again, personally, I wouldn't recommend this for options because it moves so slowly and it can chop you, so theta can eat you alive. But personally, Palantir, again, if you're doing shares, I'd watch for break over 863 to break out to the upside, and then if you're looking to short it to the downside, if you're shorting, raw shorting, I'd look for it to lose that 50 exponential moving average. So that's that. All right. So we did that one. Milky, what's up, buddy? Milky, I know you're still here, so I'm not even going to wait for a confirmation. Milky says, can we look at Rivian? Yes, we can. And I also see Michael's also here for AI. Michael, you're next. And then I got Jay after that with, so I'm sorry. I got to redo that, right? Jesse, do me a solid and confirm you're still here. For UBS, Jesse, do me a solid, confirm. Disney, Fletcher, if you can confirm. And Jay, I'm assuming you're still here for Oxy. And then we got Leon for EVgo. If you folk could do me a solid and confirm, we could do that. Milky, I'm not going to wait. I know you're still here. You're awesome. I know you're here for always from the beginning to the end. So I always appreciate you. I don't even have to confirm. Tony, my pleasure. Anytime. You're awesome. I love your comments in the chat for reminding people to hit that like button. It means a lot. Eagle, I see you. What's up? Jay, my man, still here. What's up? All right, Milky's still here, and Milky wanted us to take a look at Rivian. Funny enough, Milky, Rivian's actually on my watch list for tomorrow because she's got a gap that could possibly fill. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I apologize. There's an indicator for gap finder, so maybe I can turn that on. Gap detector. Not enough candles for the daily. What? Okay, guess not this one. It's got to be Gap Snake then. Just one of these guys. There it is. So we got a gap. We have a gap here. Let me see if I can get it to show me the values. No, I can't, but I have the values here. From 1594 to a low of 1696 here. Whew. Sorry, my mouth is really dry, and I can't open the window because last time when I ended the stream, I looked up and there was like little tiny flies everywhere, and I had to fight them with like a broomstick, and I don't want to do that again. But we're an hour and 20 minutes into the stream, 79 likes. Well, we're in the range of 100 likes, which is a little bit crazy, but we might be able to get there. Let's see. Again, either way, I'm grateful for you guys being here, and I appreciate you all so much for being here with us tonight. And I'm really hoping some of you come over to the Discord. I'm there. Jay's there. Negan's there. Jose's there. We've got a lot of cool people. Tassos is there. If you guys want, you're more than happy. You're more than welcome to come there, and we're happy to have you, and we're there to help you guys with any way that we can. Come on through. We'd love to have you. All right. Rivian. Let me look at my notes because, again, I charted this one as well, so I want to look at my notes for Rivian. Rivian. All right. We're going to really need for Rivian to come and break into this gap. So I have it as at 1594 breakout, and then 1620 is my very first next resistance level here. 1636, is my next big resistance level into this gap, and it's really parallel to then 1666, which is our 50 EMA here on the daily. If we can break into this, break the 50 EMA, she's going to fill that gap very quickly. Rivian is not a higher float stock. It's only setting at 793. It gets decent volume of 32 million. It tends to move very, very well on certain days if things are going well. It's been getting a beaten, which is not going to be good for Amazon's earnings coming up in the next few days, next few weeks rather, not days. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this puppy plays out, in my opinion, for the next coming few weeks. So in order to fill this gap, again, we're going to need to break into the gap. We're going to have to break this 50 EMA, and then it can fully fill the gap here. If it breaks that to the upside, things start to get juicy. We go to 1775. If that breaks, we can fill the gap all the way up to 1850. So we've got a nice little path here. The only thing really holding us back is gaps. The bottom and top of gaps tend to become resistance after they've unfortunately formed. So you want to kind of keep that in mind with what you're doing. But after we get over said hurdle there, we can kind of enter this gap. We can see our next big resistance is the 1630, 1650 range, and then our 50 EMA here at the 1660, and then we fill the gap around $17 there. And then if we can break that, we go to the upside. But again, you know me, Milky. I like to look at both ends of the spectrum. If this puppy loses the 9 EMA, she's coming down. She's going to come down quickly to 1475, and then to 1440, and then it can come down to test the 50 EMA at 1421. So, Milky, I hope that answered your questions about Rivian. In a nutshell there. Let's see who's next. All right. We did DocQ. I got to go all the way back up. All right. Leon Anders, are you still here? Do me a solid, confirm for EV Go and Green 250 MX. Do me a solid, confirm for Han. If you guys are here, do me a solid, please confirm for these two stocks that you're still here, and we'll jump into them. Elizabeth, you never confirmed, so we're going to have to skip you on the queue. You can always add it back later. Josh tried to get me with a funny one. And Srinivas, can you do me a solid, confirm for Snow? Michael, I know you're here for AI, so we might just jump to AI and then Oxy while we're waiting for folks to confirm, because I know that. So let me do that one. Yeah, guys, listen to Tony. Let's get to 100 likes. We're at 85, 15 away. Get it in here. By the way, share this with your friends on Twitter, everywhere. Jay, I got you with Microsoft. So do you want Microsoft or do you want Oxy? Which one do you want? I was gonna hit both, back to back, just because you're awesome. You're my bro. So I was going to do both back to back. But you let me know which one you prefer first, and we could do them. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for... All right, Green Max is here for HON. We'll do that as well. So this is the order of the next ones. We're going to do AI, then we're going to do Oxy, Microsoft, and then we're going to do Han. So we got these four queued up. And then I see a few newer comments coming in. And then after that, I got Disney for my buddy Fletcher's here with Disney. That's going to be right after that. Oh, Leon also confirmed for EVGO. So Leon's also here for EVGO. So we got those. So we got our queue set up. I got it in my head. I'm actually, you know what? It's not going to stay in my head. So let me write it down. So right now we're doing AI. And then we're going to do Oxy. and then Microsoft, and then we're going to do Han, and then, we're going to do Han, then EVgo, and then after EVgo, we're going to do Diz for my buddy Fletcher. And, okay, I think, yeah, okay, we did Spy already. We did Tesla, we did EVgo, we did Docu. Jesse, are you still here for UBS? Please do me a solid and confirm. I'm going to write it down here, UBS, with a question mark, because I know you were higher up in the queue right after Rivian, but you never confirmed, so I don't know. EVgo. MSTR, are you still here? Miss Lucia, are you still here for Cat? I'm going to put a question mark there for Cat. Again, I'm just really kind of like tightening up my queue here a little bit. Sujin, are you here for MSTR? If we do MSTR, we're going to have to do Bitcoin as well. Michael, are you still here for Pfizer? PFE. Again, I'm really trying to get my queue cleaned up here, and then we're going to jump right into it. Okay, that catches me up. Perfect. All right, let's do it. So the queue is like this. Oxy, Microsoft, Han, EVgo, Disney after we finish AI, and then we're waiting for confirmation on UBS, Caterpillar, MSTR, and Pfizer. Do you look at penny stocks? Yes, I do. You let me know, and we'll make it happen. So Cat, there we go. Miss Lucia confirms. So Cat will be right after Disney. Let's do it. We got a lot to go through. My throat is dry. 85 likes. Come on, hit that like counter. What are you guys doing? Hit it. I'm just kidding. You don't have to, but I appreciate it if you do. AI is a low float, so this puppy moves. Zooms very quickly. We had it on the bot a few days ago too, I think, if I remember correctly. If I recall. All right. Here we go. Sometimes I got to give my throat a second. Mullen, Patrick, you got it. Adding Mullen to the queue after Caterpillar. All right. Had to regroup on my notes, but we're going. We're zooming. We're zamming. If you're watching this on Twitter, come on over to the YouTube. Get off of Twitter. Come on over to the YouTube. Join us. And let's get going. So AI has been really moving on the AI news, right? ChatGPT, Bard, this guy, that guy, all these AIs. Bard is a terrible name for AI, in my opinion. Google really dropped the ball there. Should have called it something cooler, but it is what it is. I'm really confused here as to why my volume. There it is. Okay. Wow. Okay. We might have a zoomer on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And by zoomer, I mean something that's going to pop. So let's go to the weekly chart. This is where things start to get interesting. There's no more data, obviously, because that's when it IPO'd. All right. So our next battle zone to the upside is going to be right here at 36.33. The stock closed Friday at 33.57. So you're not that far off, and it's a low float, so it tends to move. But you do have a small battle. Again, this is a weekly chart, so you got to keep an eye on these levels at 34.55, which puts us at the volume wall. Once these two break, it's going to be a fast path to $40, and then from $40 all the way to $44. There isn't anything stopping you there. There's nothing, in my opinion. Again, not a financial advisor, not a fortune teller. I can't see the future, just giving you what I think could happen. You can see here on this fall, there's a path quickly to 45, and then your next big battle zone here is going to be around 48 and 53. These are the big kahunas. Again, I'm trying to zoom in again. This stock has been moving so violently, it makes it really hard to see. Here, so take a look at this. Around your next battles here, boom, right in the volume wall around 40. 40 fills, you have a quick path to that 44, 45 range, which is your next resistance right here. This guy can move, this guy can zoom, this guy can jam right there. There we go. AI may be paused. Oh, you mean halted? They closed Friday normally. They did have a very violent move to the upside. But again, this is a healthy, not a healthy, but this is a quick mover because the float is really low. It's a 97 million float. It moves very fast. And what tends to happen with these kind of things is you have people that come into the play and pump it, unfortunately. So you have bigger names pumping this stock, and I've seen people pumping it, which creates a lot of volatility in my eyes for what could happen and kind of could create some chaos, which is not good. I really don't like seeing that, because what can happen when that chaos kicks in, it can cause a lot of fear to the downside, right? Because if whoever's pumping it rugs it, can cause this to drop very quickly as well, right? And we've seen this have both really good days to the upside, and then has really violent days to the downside. Like here, 18% day to the downside, you have a 21% day to the upside. Low floats kind of tend to move like that. So that's your upside battle zones, right? Now let's take a look at it for the downside, right? What do we watch out for to trade this to the downside? You're going to need to lose this trend line here. Again, this is a lot tighter than the 90 MA, but we're gonna want to watch this. You're gonna want to watch to lose the 3160 range, and then you're gonna want to actually, you know what? I take that back. You want to put in some buffer room in there. So let's say waiting for the 90 MA on the hourly chart to break, $31 range to break, and then you can see this possibly come down very quickly to the 2970, and then down, maybe you have some support here around the 2930, and then you have a quick path down to come back to this 50 EMA. Just because it's a low float, it moves quickly. Again, if anyone would have bought the stock on Thursday evening, it's up already 20%. Why wouldn't they want to look to take some profits eventually? But again, the upside also poses a butter path upwards. So we'll have to see. Again, this is hot. You could see some retests of the 90 EMA, but usually what we've seen is when the 90 EMA breaks, she tends to flush. Take a look at this. Every time the 90 EMA is on the hourly is broken, it's flushed downward to the 50. So I wouldn't be surprised if this breaks the 90 EMA to the downside, she could flush again. So keep that in mind when you were playing this game right here. That's AI. Hope that helped. Next off is Microsoft and Oxy for my buddy Jay. So let's do Oxy first. We're an hour and 30 minutes in. Show me anyone else who does a stream like this for this long. I don't know what it is when I'm filming videos or if I'm on a phone call. We're still only at 85 likes, and that's including me. Come on, hit that like button. My voice tends to get dry. I don't know what it is. I was spending the weekend with my folks on my birthday, just between us. I don't like telling people when my birthday is, but I'll tell you guys. Wednesday is my birthday. So I was spending the weekend with my folks, but I had to cut it short to come home to be able to do this stream with you guys. So I was like, they were like, stay, we want to see you. Your birthday's coming up in the middle of the week. We won't be able to see you. I was like, I got to go. Benzinga folks need me. We got to do this. So I just wanted to say that. So I appreciate you guys so much. I just want you guys to know that. Yeah. Turning 28. 28. Becoming an old man. Listen to Michael. Smash that like button. All right. Quickly looking at Oxy. So Oxy, Miss Lucy, I got you in the queue for Cat. No one else confirmed. These other guys didn't confirm for their stocks. So after Mullen, I can add CLF and PEP. Again, that's if my voice can hold through for the rest of these. Big companies are asking AIB pause for 6 weeks. What's AIB? Are you talking about for AI to be paused for 6 weeks? Yeah, I think if AI gets paused, it will probably have a negative effect on stocks like Microsoft too. Google will probably take a hit there, but we'll have to definitely see. Negan, when's your birthday? See, you're an April birthday too. When's your birthday? All right. Looking at Oxy. All right. Oxy's a funnier one. Oxy doesn't move as 29th. All right, so I'll catch you on the 29th for your birthday. We got to do our one-on-one too for the month of April. So hit me up. We'll schedule that. Hit me up like tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll schedule that. So Oxy is going to be interesting because we need to look at crude, right? We need to look at crude oil, which I want to take a look at to see how that's reacting to these cuts. Right, so let's take a look at commodities, crude oil, and it's up 6%. Holy cannoli, that's a big move. And you're probably going to see a gap up. So take a look at this. Up big move on crude oil already. That's crazy. But, wow, that's a big move. So you're probably going to see Oxy possibly gap up tomorrow into this $63 range. We close at 62, probably the $63 range. And the big battle zone for this guy is going to be this 64.57 range. 64.57 to 64.80 to get over this volume wall, and then your next big battle is going to be at 65.89. So it's gonna make its stair steps way up if this holds. Again, this is off of the news of OPEC cutting. You're really gonna want this to kind of break over this 63.23 range right here of this guy right here. If you want to wait further, maybe wait for a 63.50 break, and then you have a clean path to 64.50 in my opinion. Oil inventories are on your birthday on Wednesday. Yeah, they are. That's funny. We're talking oil. It's on my birthday. Everything kind of line. It's going to be an oil birthday. We also have the employment numbers on my birthday, so it's going to be interesting there. I'm thinking maybe I take that day off and I don't trade. We'll see. I'm not sure yet. I want to be with the team. I like being with the team. Join the Discord. What are you doing? Come on through the Discord. We have a lot of fun there. If no one joins, I'm going to take my birthday off. I'm just kidding. I probably won't do that. All right. So Oxy is probably going to gap up. So we're going to have to. This is really going to be a watch for in the morning. But your big battle zone is going to be the $64 range. After all that goes through, and you're probably going to gap up to 64 possibly if the FOMO kicks in, and then the 64.57 to 64.80 range, and then your next big battle zone is going to be the 65 to 65.80 range there. So that's Oxy in a nutshell. Yeah, Warren bought a ton of Oxy, and every time he buys, the stock moves. We actually had that on the Discord too. I'm gonna show you guys that because I'm really proud of that one. We caught wind of the SEC. We saw the SEC filing go through, and then Oxy kind of went boom and kind of exploded and made a really good move. And that's the thing with Oxy, man. That's the thing with not just Oxy and our team is like we're always looking out for these big movers. And I posted it. I was like, hey, look, Uncle Warren loaded up on Oxy. I told the team, our Uncle Warren loaded up on Oxy. Here are the battle zones, and you can see here, boom, pointing right here. This line right here is this guy right here, boom, and the bot caught it. 60% move. And this was on one of those ugly days where everything was chopping on the 28th. Everything was chopping. Oxy was providing alpha. The bot caught it. 60% move. The bot's in the Discord, by the way, if you're curious. How do you know when a stock is likely to gap up at open? If you get news, it'll likely gap up on open. If you get any kind of catalyst the night before, like, for example, Tesla might gap up. Oxy might gap up. ZOM might gap up because we had oil news. We had Tesla news. That's usually when you're watching is if there's a catalyst. The gap up, especially if there's catalysts at like 8:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Usually when you have like CPI data, stuff like that, when things pop up, that's when usually they might be gapping up into the open. So what gapping up means is when you open up higher than where you closed. So like, for example, we closed here on Friday at 62.43. If we open up at 63, we've gapped up. All right, so we did Oxy. Next up is Microsoft. All right, Microsoft has been on a tear too. Take a look at this. Right on the tail of a volume wall. Look at that. It's filled the gap from the 19th of 2022. Holy crap. Any indication based on support and resistance? For gapping up, if you can break through a key resistance area, like for example, if you look here when we posted Tesla, let me take you here. For example, when I posted this for Tesla, this was a key resistance and it popped up. It didn't gap up that day though. It did. It kind of gave you a small gap up, but the gap filled here. But it was kind of like this. We're meeting a resistance point that's been hitting multiple times. It's been hitting it multiple times, and it finally breaks out of it. That's really when you can also sometimes see a gap up in pre-market, is if that range breaks out in the beginning, right before all of this happens. So Microsoft, you're going to want to see for this continuation to go is to break over this 290 range. And then your next big battle is going to be at this next volume wall at 290, 260. And then your big battle is going to be at 297. And then your penultimate battle is going to be at 300 to the upside. That's Microsoft there. Taking a look at to the downside. If you lose this 9 EMA, you probably have a path to come to 283 and then kind of fill this gap here. If that goes to the 280, if that goes, you're going to come and test this 278 at the 50 EMA. If that goes, you come and fill this gap from the 28th where he gapped up and fills this gap to 275. So you got both the upside and the downside. I'm going to go a little more quicker here because full transparency, I have to use the bathroom. Honeywell. I haven't looked at this stock in ages either. Who asked for Honeywell? I forgot. Green 250 MX. I hope you're still here. We're 86. All right, we went up one like. All right, that's okay. I don't think we're gonna get to 100, but we'll see. Hun, can you show me Hun? I'm not sure if you're calling me Hun or you're talking about Honeywell. Honeywell, can you show me an uptrend line with resistance of the 200 MA? Let's take a look. 200 MA definitely has resistance. Is Microsoft part of AI? Yeah, Microsoft is part of this whole AI because they own a chunk of, or they made investments in OpenAI. Victor, we did NEO already. If you rewind a little bit, you'll see we did NEO, I want to say about half an hour ago. Take a look at this. This is your uptrend line for Honeywell. And if you look here, like we've been discussing, a lot of these volume walls have been holding this back. If this can break out, you have a clean path. I believe Honeywell is a mid float. It's around 660 million, but it doesn't get too much volume, but that's okay. If you can get nice volume coming into Honeywell, you could probably see it come to 193, and then if 193 breaks, you come and visit 194.60, which is right at the 200 simple moving average. If that breaks, you come and test the 50 EMA, which is your penultimate battle right here for a move to the upside. But you're still really, if you look at this, what could also happen is if you look at this from a different angle, this isn't clean, right? This is obviously not clean. You also have an ascending triangle here. What could happen is if this loses the 90 MA, it hits this top line around this volume wall again, very parallel, rejects and breaks down. You can see this come down and retest the 187 level on Honeywell. So you have both the upside and the downside there. Next up is EVgo. Who was it that asked for EVgo? I don't remember. Oh, Fletcher, you asked for Disney way before Oxy and them. So let me do Disney. I apologize. Let me do Disney. Let me do Ford because EVgo never confirmed. I don't think EVgo confirmed. EVgo guy, if you're still here, I don't remember who you were, but Leon was asking for EVgo. All right, Leon, what's up, buddy? Leon, let me do Disney because Fletcher had asked before. Let me do Disney really quickly, and then I'll do EVgo. I'll get both of them, I promise. Where did Ford come from on my screen? Would the oil news create bearish pressure on ES and NQ? For inflation, it's not good, but we can look at ES really quickly. ES being the futures markets. We can take a look at futures aren't looking so hot. We popped up and it rejected very quickly. Take a look at this. This penultimate 4150 was not very kindly held by futures. Futures popped up into the close on Friday, and then we can see here that it's having a bit of a battle here at 41.36. And if this 90 EMA goes, futures will probably come down to test 411 and kind of get a little bit ugly. We'll have to see. Miss Lucia says you asked for Ford. Miss Lucia, I have you for Cat, but if you want, I can do Ford instead of Cat. But I have to do Disney for my buddy Fletcher because he asked first. Okay. Ooh, boy. Look at Disney. All right. Disney ran up this channel, lost it, came crashing down on earnings, and right now she's sitting on the tail of this 200 simple moving average. Miss Lucy, I have you at Caterpillar. I got you. You're actually right after EVgo. It's Disney, EVgo, then Caterpillar. So I got you, Miss Lucy. I got you. Fletcher, I apologize for the misorganization, but it has been fixed. I do apologize. News came out about Disney. Let's go. What is the news about Disney? I hope it's good. Google co-founder, another billionaire's lawsuit over JP Morgan. We don't want to talk about Jeff Epstein here. What is the news on Disney? DeSantis versus Disney. That's a funny headline. And how King Charles III is involved. So Disney, King Charles, and Ron DeSantis. Now that's a comedy movie waiting to happen. Is Apple buying Disney? Hell no, Apple's not buying Disney. Come on, that'd be awesome, but absolutely not. They're cutting 300 jobs. We got that on Thursday, so nothing really over the weekend that I can see. If you guys can fill me in, Leo, if you could fill me on the Disney news you're discussing. Till then, let's chart it. We need to break this 200 simple moving average at 186 to be able to make the next move up to 102.80 to make the next move up and fill this tiny little gap that's here. You'll probably see it if I turn this on. It's not showing, but there's a tiny little gap here to come to 104, and then your big battles start here at 105, 107, 108.50, 110, and then okay, I just heard a weird noise outside. Sorry. And then 113.75, then 115.27, so on and so forth to the upside. But if Disney loses this 50 simple moving average here on the daily chart, 50 exponential moving average rather, you're going to come and test the top of this gap, which is at 97.69. And then if that goes, you're going to fill this and come test the 9 EMA at 96.80. Let's take a look at it on the hourly chart. Very similar. Take a look at this. This level is very lined up with our 200 moving average. 9 EMA goes, you're going to come down to, what did I say? 96.80. Very parallel to what we said on our 9 EMA here at 96.80 on our 9 EMA on the daily chart. So Disney we got our path to the upside. We need to get over that 200 simple moving path to the downside. If you want to short it, if you're looking to short it, you're going to need to lose this 9 EMA here on the hourly chart. All right. So that's Disney. Fletcher, apologize again. Next up is EVgo. Then we have Caterpillar for Miss Lucia. Leon is here for EVgo. Let's do it. Look at this puppy go. EVgo had good earnings. I remember that. I remember that news piece. EVgo had good earnings. And we have two. We had a bull flag that popped, and we have another bull flag forming. So let me show you what I'm seeing very quickly. Bull flag 1, pop. And then we have another bull flag forming, bull flag 2, which could play out. Could play out if the Tesla news acts as sympathy for this guy. Bull flag 2 could play out. Let's take a look at it on the daily so I can get a full image of what's going on here. Bull flag 2 plays out on the daily. You break over the high of 816. You fill this little volume wall here. You can go to 866 and test this high resistance around the 880 range. Folks, stick with me for 2 seconds. I got to go on a bathroom break. I'll be right back. Bathroom break. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I promise. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Stick with me. I'll be back. I promise. I'm back. Sorry about that. I couldn't hold it any longer. Thankfully, in the studio, there's a bathroom right behind this. I was able to run really quickly. Sorry about that. I appreciate you guys sticking around. You guys are the best. All right, let's go back. EVGO we were discussing. Really sorry about this. Is the thing about live streams is sometimes you don't know when nature's going to call and you got to run. This is the first ever live stream where I had to take a break in the middle because we're 2 hours into this puppy and we're at 93 likes. Holy cannoli. We're 7 likes away from 100 likes. That'll be huge. Do me a solid. Remember, if you haven't already, do me a solid. Follow me on Twitter if you can. That would mean a lot to me if you're on Twitter. And if you haven't, if you're not on Twitter, no big deal. Also, really quickly, one tiny little plug. If you want to join the Patreon, you can. I'm more than happy to have you there. Join the Discord through Patreon. You go to discord.ryanstocks.com. Join us there. We'd love to have you on the trading team. It's really a fantastic educational experience where I teach you exactly how to do the stuff that I'm doing here live. So you're not going to have to depend on anyone. Become a self-serving trader. And I love doing that. That's kind of like my dream and my goal for this trading team. And my board's getting a little hot, which kind of scares me. But we're going to push it a little bit more. We got a few more stocks to go. EVGO, double bull flag 1 played out, bull flag 2 will probably play out. We got some Tesla earnings estimates that just came in. We officially got Tesla's numbers. Yes, we did. And they were very good. And we discussed City Persona. If you're new here, welcome. Tesla was the first stock that we discussed. If you want to rewind a little bit, I think you guys can still rewind, if I'm not mistaken. If you rewind a little bit, we'll do it together, actually. If you rewind here to the beginning around an hour 30 ago, you can see that we discussed Tesla right here. It was the very first one. It was about 30 minutes in. We discussed Tesla. If you want, you're more than happy to check that. More than welcome to check that out. I need to bounce. Thanks for the content, Ryan. Until next time. See you soon, Milky. Milky, come through the Discord. We'd love to have you there, buddy. Consider it. If you have any questions, you guys can always hit me up on Twitter. More than happy to have you. But the Discord is the place to have full access to me and everything going on. All right, if EVGO can bounce again and give a crazy move up, again, really, you're going to have to see it really move off of Tesla sympathy. You can probably see this guy come to 870 and possibly the $9 range. That's the next big pop-up move there. And then finally, your next big resistance is 930, and then you're starting to dance. But you're going to need to make sure that you can kind of get over Friday's high. And hopefully it should. You got the second bull flag. If this guy plays out, you got a little mover to the upside, possibly. Again, not guaranteed, not a fortune teller, right? I can't see the future. Not a financial advisor either. But again, just basing off of what's going on in the chart, we had two bull flags. Bull flag 1 played out. We're on bull flag 2. If this guy plays out off of Tesla sympathy, you can see this guy go to the 878 and then penultimate $9 range, right? Right here on this volume wall, around the $895 range here for EVGO to the upside. But then to the downside, if she loses this 90 EMA on the hourly chart, you can probably see it come and test the 730, the 750 to 730 range. If that goes, you're going to come down to the $7 range. If that goes, you're going to come down to 690. And if that goes, you're probably going to come down to 667. If that goes, you're going to test the top of this gap, 650. And then whoosh, it's going to be not going to be a quick fill. You're going to come down here. If that goes, you're going to come down to 630, in my opinion. And then if that goes, you're going to probably come slowly to 620. And then you come down to the 200 moving average. The reason this is going to catch you is A, this volume wall, and B, this 50 exponential moving average here. So that's EVGO in a nutshell. I think that was Leon. Leon, I hope that helped. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. More than happy to address them. Next up, Miss Lucia. I know you've been waiting patiently for this one. I had you in the queue. Let's do cat. Caterpillar. Let me find your comment. There we go. Cat. Again, if you want a stock charted, do me a solid, put it in the queue. The next up, we have Caterpillar, Ford, Mullen, CLF, and then REP, was it? Let me just double. I can't read my own handwriting. We got Mullen. We did AI. We did Oxy. We did Han. We did Neo. This R-E. Oh, Pepsi. Pepsi. Someone had asked for Pepsi. All right, I'm going to try my best. Again, we're at 2 hours right now. Voice is shot. We're at 93 likes. Can we hit that like button, get this to 100 likes to keep this party going? That'd be really cool. It's my second stream back to Benzinga. Cat's telling me we got a double bottom on Caterpillar, and Miss Lucia is 100% right. Take a look at this. I don't think I have a drawing tool on this one. Working kind of like freehand draw. But take a look at this. 1, 2, the 200 simple moving average. Caught that puppy and said, not today, mofo, and then bounced it up. Your big battle zone here is going to be at 233.54, your 50 exponential moving average. If you break that, your next big fight is going to be here at the bottom of this gap. There's a lot of gaps in the market right now, and we're dealing with them. We're within that zone. If we can get over 238.18, this should be a quick-ish gap fill to 240 very quickly, and then the penultimate battles to the upside. But if she is hot, if she is spicy still and needs to cool off a little bit, which really, this has decent amount of room. It's the RSI is healthy. It's got a decent amount of room to the upside. Leon, my pleasure, man. I appreciate having you. I know we did 2 hours of stocks. It was a lot, but I want to make sure to finish off the night with these guys. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. Link is down below at Ryan Rozbiani. More than happy to, if you guys want to continue our journey interactions throughout the week there. Would love to have you. And then join the Discord. Come on down. 5 spots open for the month. Come on through. Invest in your trading future. All right. That was to the upside. To the downside, if this 90 EMA goes, we got to move to the downside. But I need to look at the hourly chart for a bit of a tighter movement here. All right. See this 200 moving on the hourly, which is sitting at 231. Where was the 50? At 233. Okay. So 231 is going to be your first battle, and then 233. And then those other levels that we discussed getting us to 238, top of this gap, and then 240 where the gap fills. To the downside, if the 9 EMA goes on the hourly chart, you're going to come and get caught by this volume wall right here at 225.55. If that goes, you're probably going to get caught here by the support level here at 224. But if 224 goes, you're going to fill very quickly to the 50 EMA to 223. Now remember, Caterpillar moves very, very slow. Caterpillar is a high float stock. Excuse me, Caterpillar is not a high float stock. I take that back. I misread. 515 million. It's not a high float stock, but the volume is still relatively low. 3.35 million. It doesn't move like Apple, Microsoft, and them do. If there's news, it'll move. So if you're looking to trade options on this, definitely buy yourself some time. I wouldn't do weeklies. I definitely do monthlies, and the monthlies have lower volume on them. So make sure you can be careful and not get caught in the spread, because there's really there's about a 25-cent spread here, which is $25 spread on the puts, and the calls are about a 35-cent spread, which is hot, which is really high looking at. So be careful there with Caterpillar. So again, just a quick review. Your first big battle is going to be, you want to get over what happened on Friday, break 330, then 331, then 333, which is our 50 EMA on the daily chart, and then 338, and then 340 to the upside. Downside is your 9 exponential. If that goes, it's 225, then 224, then 223. It's really $1 apart here on this one. And then if that goes, you're going to probably fill this gap down to 220, and then more downside. But right now it's very hot on the RSI, so I wouldn't be surprised if it comes and tests this upper level, cools off, retests, and then slowly kind of makes its way up like this, kind of like a snake pattern up and down. Let me see if I can finish your polyline, double click, hit enter. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes like this, right? It continues to go like this, and then finally breaks out, right? And does all that other stuff, right? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that goes. But again, so far it's really been moving like in a zigzag pattern. So that's the upside. All right, next up we have Ford. Someone said something about, Miss Lucia said Ford has a huge descending triangle on the daily. Ford's a very slow mover. I know that one because I've been caught in Ford's options trades, and that sucker moves slow. But she's trying. Ford's trying. Ford had a really good few days. Take a look at this. it double bottomed here. Where's my line? Oh, I gotta scroll up. It double bottomed here. It caught it, and now it pushed it up. Your big battle is going to be right here. 1273 is going to be your first big battle. This volume wall is huge, and Ford does not get enough volume usually to keep going. Patrick, you did not miss Mullen. Mullen is right after Ford. You're up next. You're going to need to get over this 1274, and then you're going to, if you breaking through, this is going to be annoying. You're going to probably, if you look here, let's see if I can zoom in a little bit more. See if I can give you guys a better look here. If you take a look at this range, I'm gonna clean the color up. Give me 1 second. Take a look at this range here that I have. I extended the volume. You can see usually when it gets here, it consolidates and it breaks out, or it consolidates and it breaks down. So you're going to want to watch this volume wall within this $13 to $12.75 to $13 range here. It's a big deal. Ford is going to a Tesla model selling platform in the EU. That'll be cool. I'd love to see it. I think they've had some issues with the battery tech with Ford. But I have been seeing a lot more of their EV Mustangs on the road here in New York, which is interesting to see. I haven't seen an F-150 on the road. So I'm usually around the exchange a lot of days. I've got a small little office space there where I sometimes go where I want to work remotely. One of my buddies has some office space he lets me use. And there, okay, that's not appropriate. He lets me, so I'll go there and it's right by the exchange. So during lunchtime, I'll go for a walk. And twice now, Ford has come with their F-150s and other stuff. So it's been really, really nice to see their cars in person. They're very interesting. But the battery tech I've been in the news recently for some issues, and that's why we saw like a little bit of a sell-off. But it's been caught here. So if we look at the hourly chart very quickly, we can see the hourly is hot. But again, it's approaching that volume wall around 275. Again, we discussed the upside. The downside, you have to lose the 9 EMA. Really, you have to lose this 1250 support. This gap will fill. 1230 will catch it. If that goes, you're going to get caught here by the $12.20, $12 range here. But if that goes, you come to this 200 simple moving average at $12. And that catches it. If that goes, you go to the 50 EMA, so on and so forth to the downside. So that's Ford. Next up is Mullen. Patrick wanted some Mullen, so we're going to mull around in Mullen. Now, I know that this is fun. I've seen stickers for this guy by the exchange. This is still a fan favorite of retail. Again, I don't have a position. And I think the only stocks that we discussed that I have a position in is NVIDIA, Apple, and Tesla. Are stocks that I have positions in terms of shares. Just for full transparency's sake. I need to look. And Apple, I said. And SPY, I don't have any shares of SPY. I have shares of VTI in my IRA. AMD, I have shares of. Again, just want to, for full disclosure purposes, and Tesla I mentioned already. We're 5 likes away from 100 likes. Can we get there? Can we? Please? 5 more likes. 5 more likes. 5 likes away from 100. Do it. Smash that like button. What are we doing here? Let's get going. Stock market. Likes. Get me there to 100 likes. What are we doing? All right. Let's go to Mullen. This is very similar to EVgo. Right when we were looking at EVgo with the double bull flags. Very similar to EVgo. Take a look at this. Flag 1. Whoa, no, this isn't a flag. This is more of an ascending. This is more of a triangle. And it broke out to the upside. And now it's kind of... I take it back. It's not like EVgo. Once you zoom in, when you're zoomed out, it's kind of like, what's going on? And then when you zoom in, you go, okay, I see what's going on now. This guy's didn't have the best Friday, right? But it's kind of consolidating around this 9 EMA, kind of holding it. Right there, you see that? If you lose the 9 EMA, you're going to come and quickly fill this gap. But the 12.45 cent will probably... Is this OTC? No, it's not. It's still on the NASDAQ. Okay. If you lose this $13 range here on this 1291 on the 90 MA, you'll probably come and get caught here by this volume wall right here at the 1246 support. If that puppy goes, you're going to come and probably test the volume wall and 50 EMA support here at 1185. But if it breaks out to the upside, your first big battle is going to be at 1390, 139. And then you're going to have some battle here at 1415. And this is, you're really going to want to follow the volume walls here. Let me go to the daily to see where this is. I'm going to turn the 200 off so it fixes my scaling a little bit because that's really high up. Your biggest battle is going to be here at the 20-cent range with this 50 EMA. Now, I don't know too much about Mullen. I believe they operated in the EV sector, or their battery tech, so they're EVs. So it says Mullen is an electric vehicle company that operates in various verticals of business focused on the automotive industry. It's engaged in building passenger EVs for portable commercial vehicles. Okay, that's cool. This vehicle includes the Mullen 5, the Mullen 5 RS, Mullen 5 Class 1 van, Mullen 3, Bollinger B1, B2, Bollinger B4. All right, I don't know why they listed all their cars here, but it's an EV. So this could get some love. Again, tomorrow is Tesla, essentially Tesla party, right? It could get some love off of the Tesla pop if Tesla pops. So you're going to want to keep that puppy in mind where if it pops and it can break through those volume walls that we were discussing right here, break over this 1245. Well, we're here. Sorry, excuse me. Break over this $14. Break over 1450. Break over 1550. It can make its move up. And the float is... Oh, it doesn't give me the float on Mullen. Oh, sorry. It's a high float. It's a 2 billion float. So you're going to need a lot of volume to get this guy moving. I don't know why on this one the flow is different. I guess they have a dividend date or something. But if this can break up there, it's going to be a big deal. But again, your biggest battle here on on Mullen, Patrick, is going to be this 20-cent range here. And this is a big volume wall. It's going to take a lot of consolidation around here to break over this and get you to 30 cents, and then a lot of work to get you to 40 cents. So you've got tiny little battles here. I'm assuming you're doing, you're not doing contracts. You're probably doing shares on this one, which could get interesting. It's got good upside, but the downside's also there as well if this 13-cent range goes. I think Tesla's going to pop, but it's going to sell the news maybe. I agree with you, Mikey. I think that you're going to go to a max of 415/417, and then you're going to probably sell the news off if it goes that high. Because, again, let me jump to Tesla really quickly. Because you have this volume wall here at 210, it'll probably gap up to around this what is the high of this? 211, and then probably maybe even push up to 214. But really to get to this highest point of this 215 is going to be the biggest sucker to fight off here, because it's going to be huge. And we front run this on Friday, not front run it like and the markets really front ran this guy here and ran 5%. So it made a big move already on Friday. So we'll have to see if that continuation comes in. Remember, Tesla is the original stock that everyone loves and kind of gets memed. Excuse me for if I don't want to offend anyone. Clearly, I like Tesla. I own Tesla. But if the Tesla crew kicks in and starts buying, this could continue to go up. But if people do decide to sell the news, you can see this guy come down, cool off, and then consolidate probably around this 190 range and then make its way back up from there. We'll have to see. Tesla could be a short squeeze. Covered calls are the best thing. Yeah, covered calls on Tesla are probably the best bet right now. It's a lot of shares of Tesla. You need 100 shares per covered call. If you got that, that's awesome. But covered calls are probably your best bet here to kind of hedge your position and make some money, especially if we get that eventual sell-off here. Because this 200 moving average has never been kind to Tesla since 2022. It has never been kind to it. But we'll have to see. Maybe the tides are turning. All right, we did Mullen. We're 2 hours and 10 minutes into the stream. We're 3 likes away from 100 likes. Can we get to 100 likes, please? We need 3 more likes. Can we get there? Can we do it? I need 3 more of you to smash that like button. All right, let me see what I have next. I'm going to need to get confirmation on if the person's here. Jay, you still here, buddy? I know you wanted a stock, but I don't remember what it was. Do me a solid. Put it in the description. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. These guys are coming through. Smash it. It's telling you to smash the like button. Listen up. We only need 2 more. We're 2 away. We're 2 away. Look at this. If you don't believe me, we're 2 away from 100 likes. 2 away. Can we do it? Can we make it happen? Really quickly before I do the final 2. Okay. Gurav is saying Baba. City Persona is saying socks. Are you guys both here? If you're here, please confirm and we'll do those. Jay, are you still here? It says charge point. Jay, do me a solid. Confirm for me if you're still here. And we could do that one. Oh, we did it. We did it. We did it. 100 likes. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all so much. Ooh, that's pretty cool. Okay. Let's do charge point because I don't think Miss Lucy is here anymore. Let's do charge. Jay's not confirming that he's here. Is it? City Persona's here. All right, perfect. Peter says 100 likes. Let's do it. Perfect. City Persona's here, so let's do socks. SOXS, which is our 3X bear bidirectional ETF for semis. So what does that mean? This stock, so this is how kind of the bear ETFs work, and then I'll explain what the 3X means, right? So if semiconductors come down, this guy will go up. It's via swaps. It's a whole complicated thing. Don't worry about it. Just think of it like this. When semiconductors go down, SOX goes up and vice versa. But SOX goes down or up 3X. 3X the usual of what's happening because it's a 3X leveraged ETF. Now, this is the thing. This thing is really, really low. So I need something like a weekly chart maybe. Turn off these guys so I can kind of see what's going on here. But I think you're at an all-time low on this one. I don't know why or what's happening here. These are harder to chart, right? Because the issue with charting these is because it's really the parts of the whole that make up the sum. So I really want to get a reminder of what's in SOX. It's a Dixeron ETF. Here we go, so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Huh. Oh, no, that's something else. Okay, this isn't going to help me with what I want. SOX is 3X. SOXL is 1X. SOX is 3X. All right, let's take a look. So this thing's been on a massive downtrend because obviously the semiconductor stocks have been on a tear. When those, again, you have to look at those guys because those guys directly move this guy. This guy doesn't have a mind of its own, unfortunately. But it looks like you're at a 50 all-time low with this, which doesn't make sense because I can't accept that. Yeah, it's definitely not an all-time low. So what the heck is going on here? Yeah. Sucks. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay. Let me see what I can do here. So I need to turn this volume off. But I don't know why on TrendSpider. So let me just bring up my Weeble. Give me 1 second to log out. And I'll screen share Weeble. Because for some reason TrendSpider is having a bit of a problem. showing us this. Okay. Can you? Oh, okay, I need to stop sharing this. There we go. All right. So you got a big gap here. Now, I don't know what triggered the gap. I don't remember these guys tanking that hard to trigger a gap up like this. But hey, this is the thing. If these things keep tearing, like the semiconductors keep going up, AMD goes to 102, 105 like we discussed, NVIDIA goes to that 300 range that we discussed earlier, we can see this guy come down and probably continue to come down lower. Now, the problem with this is you can't really chart support and resistance on these things because this is a 3x bidirectional ETF, and it's kind of like it's moving off of something else. It's moving off of something else. So you really, what I would say is, City Persona, your best bet would be to look at stuff like AMD. And we discussed AMD a little bit earlier. If that pops and keeps going up, you're going to see stocks come down. Same thing with NVIDIA. If this continues to pop and go up to like break this 390 level and go to like 300, 350 again, talking mad long term, you're going to see that. But if these things come and they start kind of coming home and losing their exponential moving averages and coming down lower, you're going to see stocks go back up fairly quickly. So that's stocks. All right, let me do ChargePoint next. ChargePoint, and then GM is going to be my last one. I'm going to do ChargePoint, and then GM is going to be the last one because we've been here for 2 hours and 17 minutes, and it's been a long night. I'm tired. I want to go watch Succession. Yeah, they do. We're good in choppy markets. All right, let's see. Let's do it here. ChargePoint. ChargePoint's going to need to get over that 50 EMA and break this resistance trend line here. Probably the EV hype might. Again, last time it didn't really help ChargePoint too much, but it might give it some juice to pop to the upside and push upwards. You're going to really need to break this $10, $11 range here. Let me go to Trend Spider for this one because I want the volume walls. There we go. You guys can see it. There's ChargePoint. What the fuck? All right. Let's take a look at ChargePoint. Where'd my EMAs go? As you can see, I'm getting tired and slowing down a little bit. Aha, that's what I was looking for. And the 200. Cool. All right. This guy is running and testing the 50 EMA. 50 EMA has been a pain for this guy, obviously. As we can see here, it broke out of this resistance range here, but your next big path is going to be here around this volume wall around 1092. Let's just say 11 for easier pronunciation's sake. And it matches up with the top of this candle at 11. If you can break above this, and keep pushing and break out further, you're going to test the 1150 and then follows the volume wall again higher. You come to the $12 range here to the upside. You're going to have a little bit of resistance here at the 1175, 1160 range here with this guy, but that's for the upside. Looking at the downside here, again, it all depends on if it continues. If this 200 simple moving average goes, you're going to come and test this 50 EMA here very quickly, because you can see there's a volume gap there. It'll come down fairly quickly to the $10 range here at the 50 EMA. If that goes, you're going to obviously come down much lower here to 980. And then 980, 968 is your next, excuse me, 967. And then if that guy goes, you come down to 940. So you are boring, then leave. Why are you wasting my time? Get lost. If I'm boring, leave. Asshole. It's like, you're boring. You're a loser. So you're going to have to break out of this for the upside. And it's going to be a quick move up to 11. If it can get there, it'll get there. But if not, if this 200 goes, it's to the downside. So, Jay, that's that one. Let's do our last one, GM. Miss Lucy, are you still here? If not, we're going to close out the stream because I'm tired. We've been here for 2 hours and 21 minutes. Shout out to you who've been here for this time period. Lilo, thank you. I appreciate that you're enjoying the stream. Miss Lucy, are you still here for GM? Please confirm. Yep. All right. Last one, GM. Let's close out the night. General Motors moves very parallel to Ford, which we discussed a little bit earlier. Almost same setup. Needs to get over this 200 simple moving average for it to make its way here. If it does, it's going to be a quick move somewhat. If it gets volume, quick move if it gets volume to 37.88. And then 38. It's going to be within this. This will be a little bit of a battle zone for it. If it could break that, you're going to go to the 38.50 to 38.70 range. But if the 9 EMA goes on the hourly chart, you're going to probably quickly come and fill this gap to 36. If that goes, you're going to probably come and test 35.90 again. Excuse me. GM moves a little slower than what you're probably used to with other stocks. It's got a high float, but not too much volume. So it moves a little slower, but your penultimate support is going to be this 9 EMA on the daily range. Even if everything starts to break down and come, you're going to want this 35.34 to hold if you're long in this position. If you're not long in this position and you're looking to short, you're going to need to wait for this to break to come to the downside to short it. For the upside, you're going to need to break 37.12 on this 50 EMA. Tony, thank you so much for being here. Patrick, appreciate you. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate your support. So that's the night. I'm off to watch Succession. Thank you so much for watching this. Really quickly before we end the stream, one more time, I want to ask you kindly, if you haven't already, hit the like button. If you'd like to, you could follow me on Twitter at Ryan Rozbiani. The link is always in the description. You can come through and follow me there on Twitter. More than happy to have you. Also, if you'd like to join the Patreon, the Discord via Patreon, you can. The link is down below. Come through, learn how everything that we're doing here. Come learn all this stuff. And really, whatever questions you have, I always answer them 24/7. Almost 24/7. I sleep for a few hours a night, but most of the time I'm there at your beck and call to help you. It's a fantastic trading community. We help people out. People do really good. I'm going to show you guys something really that I haven't posted, but I probably will. But you can see here, one of our guys, he had a 5K day. That's $5,000 day. He did very, very well. Let me open this in a new tab. Might be easier to see there. He had a $5,000 day with the team there, and he goes, "It's just Friday at 11 in the morning. It's 5K day for me. Go and enjoy the rest of the day and have an early start to my weekend. Cheers, y'all." And I was like, hell yes, great work. So we do a lot of cool stuff there. So if you'd like to join, link is in the description. If you're not sure where the description is, if you're watching this video, come right here and you can see it. If you come scroll down, you can see all the links are right here in the description, right here on the side. My website has everything, ryanstocks.com. The Discord's there, discord.ryanstocks.com. The Twitter's there if you want to follow me there. And, of course, my YouTube's there as well. I appreciate you all for coming. Consider joining the Discord. It's probably the best way you can help support. All the money goes to funding that bot that we have, which I showed you guys the results of. You can see it caught Oxy. It caught 270% on Tesla. I showed you the results for Friday. A lot of awesome resources there, and I make sure to prepare the team for all the events that come through the pipeline throughout all this. All right, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm off to watch Succession. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Later. See you next week.